The opening scene mentions a wife who has reached her power ceiling, who still wants a bicycle, and demands to eat only soft rice. But when Xiao Yifeng said I was really your husband, I was nearly strangled to death by this future wife. Something's not right. I must have taken the wrong script. At the beginning of the story we see a village. And some beast wolf has attacked this village. And they have destroyed this village by burning it. And now those wolves are moving to attack someone, and they have attacked a girl. But that girl would have killed all those wolves with her little power. Then that girl goes ahead, and she is saying, I never thought an ordinary village like this will be under attack from monstrous wolves. Pity these mortals. And in front of this girl there is a boy lying on the ground, but then this girl notices something, and we see that the boy's eyes open. And he gets up quickly. Then he says, I'm not dead? And when he looks in front of him, he knows that there is a girl in front of him. And looking at the girl he says, where am I in the end? But when he looks at the girl carefully, he recognizes who she is, and he calls her by her name. And this girl's name is Han Yen. And the boy quickly holds the girl's hand, due to which the girl gets a little nervous. But this boy is saying to Guan Han, Han Yen, why are you here? Are you here to save me? But Guan Han does not know this man. And she tries to free her hand. And she says to this boy, how do you know my name? And please let go of my hand, I don't even know you. And the boy has directly hugged the girl. Due to which Guan Han becomes even more surprised. And the boy says to Guan Han, Han Yen, I know you're mad, but it wasn't my intention to ditch you and use a suicidal attack with others. Don't worry, I won't be naughty anymore, we will live a happy life together. But Guan Han is getting very angry with this boy's actions, and this boy is not able to understand. And he is asking, why are you tremble? And Guan Han takes the boy away from her. And seeing this the boy becomes very surprised. Then he says, Lu Han Yen, you are killing your husband. And this boy goes far and hits the ground, due to which a crater is formed at that place. And then a man comes running towards this boy. And this man is calling that boy Little Fang. And he is asking, how are you? Are you alright? Xiao Yifeng, talk to me, hurry up and apologize to the lady. But Fang gets badly hurt due to Guan Han's attack. Due to which he starts fainting. And he is not able to even pronounce this man's name properly. Then the man goes to Guan Han, and says to Guan Han, please do not blame him, lady. Little Fang is just acting up because the village is destroyed, and spouting nonsense. And Fang is saying in an unconscious state, Xiao village? Wasn't it destroyed? Many years ago, could it be that I went back to the past? And Fang starts remembering what happened to him in the future. He recalls that Guan Han was his wife, and Guan Han had said to Fang, promise me, you must return safely. And Fang replies to Guan Han, I promise you, I won't leave you behind. But when the fight took place, Fang was badly injured. And Fang was attacked with many weapons. Due to which he was badly injured. And he is remembering all these things. How was he killed? Then after this Fang regains consciousness. And he shouts Guan Han's name, but when he looks ahead, he realizes that he has come to a different place somewhere. And he is saying, it's not a dream. And I am not dead. And then Fang hears a voice and she says, you are finally awake. Come with me. The place master would like to see you. And after listening to this girl, Fang asks, lady, may I know where we are going? And this girl tells, towards the flying ship to carry us to Wintian Sect. Hurry up, the palace master has been waiting. Then Fang starts following this girl, and while going he is thinking, it's real, I really went back to the past, this is when Lu Han Yen rescued me back then. She became my wife later, but she doesn't know me at this moment, and as soon as Fang enters the room, the door is closed. Seeing which Fang gets scared, and he asks why did you close the door? Then suddenly someone says to Fang, you're Xiao Yifeng? And as soon as Fang looks ahead, there is Guan Han in front of him. And by the way it is, Wintian Sect lady. Guan Han. Cultivation, Mahayana realm. And Guan Han is sitting in front of Fang. Then we are told about Guan Han, the fairy of the cold moon sect. Cold and proud like snow. pure and flawless. She is the most eye-catching female cultivator in the cultivation world. Countless men fell in love with her at first sight. But in all these years, even her real name is not known by many. But today. And now Guan Han is asking Feng, how do you know my name? So in response Feng tells Guan Han, Han Yen, I know this sounds unbelievable. But you have to trust me. I came back from the future, and the reason I know your name is because I'm your husband. But Guan Han does not believe Feng's words, rather Guan Han is getting very angry, and she is saying, I'll give you one more chance, tell me the truth. And Feng gets shocked after hearing this. And he's thinking, damn, I'm going to die. She always likes this when she gets angry. And Feng is saying to Guan Han, my wife, I'm not lying to you. By the way, your favorite fruit is banana, you are most afraid of snakes, you were bitten by a dog when you were a mortal, and also, your nickname is Yen Yen, it was given by a fortune teller that your father hired. But Guan Han gets very angry after listening to Feng. And she shouts at Feng to shut up, and using her power, she grabs Feng by the neck. Due to which Feng starts coughing. And Guan Han is releasing her power, and she says to Feng, you have investigated me so thoroughly, you must be a spy sent by the demon sect, tell me, who sent you? And Feng's body is trembling and he says to Guan Han, I'm telling the truth, you have a congenital cold ice vein. You practice the ice heart technique. Not the 9 scrolls of heaven that the heaven sect teaches. And when Guan Han hears this, she gets shocked and she starts thinking, my main cultivation technique. Only my master and I know about it. How did it leak out? Could it be my master? Then Guan Han says to Feng, I didn't expect you could even find this kind of secret. It seems I have to kill you first, and then search your mind for information. And Guan Han is about to kill Feng. And seeing this, Feng gets very scared, and he says to Guan Han in fear, you have a tear-shaped red birthmark on your inner thigh. And on hearing this, Guan Han's attack stops. She stops herself. Due to which Feng falls, and he heaves a sigh of relief. Then he is saying, it can't be that this is also information that, spy, can see, right? Hearing Feng's words, sweat is falling from Guan Han's face, and at the same time Guan Han's cheeks turn red. And Feng is saying to Guan Han, I also know that you have a mark of an ice lotus on your right chest. It is formed by the ice heart technique that you practice. This technique was taught to you by your master. It is actually a furnace technique. If you lose your virginity while practicing this technique, your power will all be transferred to the other person. Fortunately, you later discovered your master's plot. So you managed to secretly kill him, and covered it up as an accident, fooling everyone. This is how you became the current palace master of the Snow Palace. The Fairy of the Cold Moon. And also my wife, Lu Han Yen. Guan Han gets a big shock after hearing Feng's words. He doesn't believe that a man can know so much about him. And Guan Han's face is sweating profusely. Then she gasps and says to Feng, these things? Unless I said them myself, no one else could possibly know. You said you came from the future me, we, what happened to us? And Feng tells Guan Han about the future, and he says, the future is a chaotic era that has never been seen in 1,000 years. Starting now 50 years later, a new war between the righteous and the evil begins, and the divine land will be in flames. The 4 palaces of the heaven sect are destroyed, the Red Sky sect betrayed and joins the demon sect, the Luo Book sect is in name only, the 2 divine monks of the No Form Temple pass away, and I was framed by a traitor of the heaven sect, and fled the world with the name of a master killer, but by a twist of fate I met you, and became your partner. After that we decided to retire together, and not care about worldly affairs. But we met. Enemies at our door. After that I died with their enemy. I thought that I would never see you again. But I never expected, when I opened my eyes again, I was back to the time when you saved me. Han Yen, seeing you again, is so good, and Guan Han is very surprised to hear Feng's words. On the other side 2 girls are talking, who are Guan Han's servants. And one of the girls says, we are almost at the sect, why isn't he here yet? I wonder what business the sect master has with him. Probably just some questions, we don't need to intervene. It's not like you don't know our sect master's attitude towards men. Yes, and immortal at that. And after some time, Guan Han believes what Feng says. And Feng is writing down a technique, and Guan Han is asking Feng, is this the improved technique you spoke of? And Feng tells Guan Han, yes, this is the improved frozen heart chant we spent 3 years on. And Guan Han comes very close to Feng, due to which Guan Han's watermelon touches Feng's shoulder. And she is saying, most of the path of veins is only possessed by those with freezing veins. Not something a normal person can practice. Feng's shoulder has taken the weight of Guan Han's watermelons, due to which sweat is falling from Feng's face. And he is saying, yes. You are smart, my wife. This technique is tailor-made especially for you. Not only is it more powerful, it is no longer a dual-cultivation technique. With it, our lives as husband and wives back then wouldn't let you break your cultivation. And as soon as Guan Han hears about dual cultivation, her body starts trembling. And she says to Feng while blushing, what are you talking about? Who's your wife? Even if you are from the future, who's to say that I, Han Luyen, will be the same person as I am? Yes. Maybe that's just me from another world, we are not the same person. And listening to Guan Han, Feng is thinking, you came up with the parallel world theory, you got a big brain over there. Then Feng says to Guan Han, you have a point, maybe you're not my wife. And Guan Han gets surprised to hear this, then Feng further says, I prepared this improved technique for my wife, I can't give it to others. And as soon as Feng says this, Guan Han gets very shocked. And Feng says to Guan Han, what's the matter, Miss Lu? Could it be that you want to forcefully take away my token of love to my wife? And hearing this, Guan Han starts leaving this place angrily, and she says, Humph. Who wants it anyway? I'll come up with it myself. And seeing Guan Han leaving, Feng gives that technique to Guan Han and says, Sai, I'm kidding, it's not like I can't give it to you. I will give you the technique, you take me as your direct disciple, how's that? Guan Han gets shocked after hearing Feng's demand, and she says, how is that? Possibility. Everyone in the Fei Shui court are women, how can I let you enter? And hearing this Feng says, so there's no room for negotiation? I will not disturb the palace master any further. I will leave now, and we will have nothing to do with each other from here on out. And hearing this Guan Han starts rubbing her teeth. Then she asks Feng to stop. And hearing this, Feng starts smiling, and Guan Han further says, I can let you enter my court. But you cannot do anything that goes against the way of justice, or I will not forgive you. Right, and you cannot tell others about our relationship. And Feng gets ready to do everything Guan Han asks. Then Guan Han asks Feng, what do you need to do now? And Feng says, I will write out the technique. After this the scene shifts and we see a flying ship, which is flying in the sky, and as soon as people see a place, they become very surprised. And those people are saying, is that the place cultivators live in? Then Guan Han is telling them, this is our Wentian sect. Those who get chosen as disciples are people suitable for our sect. Before joining the sect, all of you need to participate in a spiritual test to confirm the talent of your spiritual roots. It will be up to you to know which palace you will enter afterwards. Then we see Feng's friend, who is searching for Feng, but then Feng comes behind him, due to which he gets scared, and Yi Jiu is getting very angry, and he is shouting, where did you go? I didn't see you for the entire trip. And Feng is saying, just making an apology to a lady. Then Yi Jiu tells, little Feng, I asked around just now, other than the two of us joining midway, the other mortals here are all disciples taken in by cultivators. They have extremely high talent in cultivation. If our spiritual roots aren't good, we'll probably be chased out. But Feng tells him, don't worry. Other than the talent, cultivation also requires opportunity. Maybe you will have some luck. And hearing this his friend becomes happy. Then he says, you have a point. I will do my best. And Feng says, ha. Of course you will have an opportunity, kid. And Feng is remembering about the future, and he is thinking, who would have imagined that you are the most talented disciples in this batch, much more powerful than I was. But this time, I made preparations beforehand. Then Feng says to Yijio, let's go and measure our spiritual power. And after some time Feng and Yijio come to another place. And Yijio is telling Feng, little Feng, look there. Are cultivators everywhere, and why are there empty seats there? Feng says, those are the seats for the palace masters, look there. And after some time, many cultivators gather at one place. And those people are welcoming the sect master and the palace master. And everyone bows their heads before him. But Feng does not bow his head, due to which Yijio says to Feng, little Feng, quickly bow and be respectful. Then Feng bows his head. And when he looks in front, Guan Han is sitting. Then we see a man, and it's this man, Wentian sect master, immortal Guan gender. And the sect master is saying, you may all rise. Welcome to the Wentian sect. I am Guan Ling, the sect master of this sect. All of you are here, favorite ones from your respective places, and meet the entry-level requirements of our sect. But before you can enter our sect, you will need to take the spiritual root test, only then can we choose who to accept. Do you all understand? And all the cultivators call the sect master Yush. And Feng is saying to Yijio, don't worry, you're good to go. And now the test starts. Then a bright light shines, seeing which everyone becomes very surprised. And a man is saying, this item is a spirit measuring instrument which can be used to determine qualifications of your spiritual roots. There are 4 levels, A, B, C, and D. Please come forward when I call your names and put both your hands on this. Then the test taker takes the name of a person, due to which that person comes to take the test. And he places his hand on the measuring instrument. And a lot of light comes out from the measuring instrument, due to which the test taker tells, would spiritual root, middle be acceptable? Then the test taker takes the name of another person, and the test continues like this. And Guan Han is looking at Feng and thinking about him, I wonder what his spiritual root will be. If it's AB standard, I'll need to find a way to let him enter my palace. Then after this sect master asks Guan Han, junior sister Guan Han, has someone caught your eye? And Guan Han says, not yet. And after this Yijio comes to give the test, and Yijio has got wood spiritual root, and it is high, because of which Yijio gets surprised, and he is unable to understand what is happening to him. But Feng calls Yijio a conglomerate, and the sect master looks at Yijio's wood qualification and says, haha. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect to see a disciple with such high qualifications this time round. Junior sister Guan Han, I heard that he's one of the disciples you brought back. I wonder if the other one. And after this it's Feng's turn, and Feng is saying, ha. I didn't expect to have to go through this again, and Feng goes ahead and places his hand on the measuring instrument. But its qualification is low, which is D. And seeing this everyone becomes very surprised, and Feng is saying, what did I say? And the test taker is just looking at Feng. And everyone is also very disappointed. Then a fat man says, aren't we all favorite ones from our respective places? Why is there someone with such a qualification here? Another man says, a low D, isn't he basically an ordinary person? I heard at most people like that will only be someone that does odd jobs. And the test taker is saying to Feng, do you want to try again? The spirit measuring instrument might have made a mistake. But Feng tells him, no need, no need. I know exactly how bad my qualifications are. The test taker is unable to say anything after listening to Feng. He makes a strange face. Then Feng goes to Yijio and says to him, how's it, great genius? Aren't I cooler than you now? And Yijio says, little Feng, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But Feng says, don't think too much. It's your talent, so cherish it well. Besides, am I the kind of person who needs qualifications? And Feng senses something, and he thinks, Sechem? Why do I feel someone's gaze on me? Haha, looks like she's really angry. And actually Guan Han is very angry, and she is thinking, this bastard. Why does he have a qualification like that? Then we see another man, which is very angry, and it is Wuya Palace Master, Suqiani. And he says, which asshole was the one who got bribed into bringing such a person here? Forget it if there was bribery. Bringing a person like him in is just going overboard. And Guan Han tells him, I was the one who brought him in. Junior brother Qianni, you were saying? And Su Qianni is shocked to hear this, then he says, even if it's senior sister Guan Han, you shouldn't have brought back a disciple with such qualifications. Did you not check beforehand? And Guan Han says to him, my apologies. I forgot. I'll check next time. And hearing this, Su Qianni gets angry, then he says, you forgot? How can you even forget this? Senior sister, how many times has it been already? How are you always forgetting such an important thing? And another man says, senior brother Su is really angry. And this man is, Danning Palace Master, Immortal Bai Yin. Then an old man says, if he doesn't get angry, who will? Each palace select their disciples based on their previous ranking in the true martial competition. Wuya Palace came in last, which means, well, this is the old man, Xiankuan Palace Master, Taoist Guang Wei. That disciple is definitely his unless we kick him out and risk tarnishing our reputation. Then we see Fang, who is going to many people, and greeting them, and is also talking to people. And Fang is saying, nice to meet you, we'll all be one big family in them futures, so let's get along well. Then a man comes to the sect master, and he tells the sect master, Palace Masters, the spiritual root test has ended. We have a total of 78 disciples accepted. And sect master says, then according to the previous ranking in the true martial competition, the Xiankuan Palace can choose their disciples first. Junior brother Guan Wei, please go ahead. Then the old man says to his companion Ming Hai, go. You know how to choose. And his companion leaves from here. And the sect master says to another man, then next is my Taiji Palace. Xianni, I'll leave the selection to you. Then that man also leaves, and sect master is speaking to Guan Han. Then next is the Feishu the palace that ranked third. Junior sister Guan Han, it's your turn. And Guan Han says to the girl next to him, Ming Xia, same as before. Then we see Feng, who is still talking to many people. But then he notices something, and he looks back, and there is Ming Xia in front of him. And Feng is smiling seeing her. But Ming Xia passes by Feng. And seeing this, Feng becomes very surprised. And Ming Xia is talking to other people. And Feng is getting shocked. Then we see some people who are building their team by doing the same. And Feng becomes alone, and Feng is thinking, it's the same as before, but don't tell me she isn't going to keep her word? No. She isn't someone like that. And sect master is saying, Junior brother Su, it's your turn, but there's only one person left, so there's nothing to choose from anyway. And Su Qianni speaks, I won't choose him. You guys are doing this on purpose. Then Guan Han says, Junior brother Su, if you really don't want him, then I can accept him into my palace. Since I was the one to recommend him, I should take responsibility for him. The Wentian sect keep their promises. And the sect master is surprised to hear this, and he says, Junior sister Guan Han, you wish to accept him into your place? But don't you only accept female disciples? But Guan Han says, Senior brother, as a righteous sect, Wentian sect not only conquers with martial arts but also with faith. So what if his spiritual roots are poor? In the cultivation world, there have been instances where those with poor spiritual roots achieve success. He is only one disciple for my palace to nurture. If we chase out a disciple that we've promised to accept, won't we become the laughingstock of the righteous sects? And the old man gets surprised after hearing this, and then he says, as expected of junior sister Guan Han, this is the attitude that our palace masters should have. And the second master is saying, in comparison, a certain someone has lost all his face now, not bad, although Palace Master Guan Han is a woman, her broad-minded attitude is truly a role model for us. Looking at We Are the Place, no wonder they've been going from bad to worse. And after hearing all those Palace Master's words, Su Qianni gets very angry, because of which he shouts loudly and says, enough. And Su Qianni points towards Feng, then he says, I am also a palace master of the Wentian sect. I don't need anyone's help to take in a disciple. I will make you my direct disciple. And teach you everything. And after hearing this, the sect master becomes very surprised. And he thinks what a direct disciple. Then Guan Han comes to Su Qianni, and says to him, "Hold on. Junior brother Su. I clearly choose Xiao Yifeng first." And Su Qianni says, "Senior sister Guan Han, you have already finished selecting your disciples before, no?" Then Su Qianni says to everyone, although my Wuya palace is in the last place, I still have my dignity. Even if there is only one disciple left, it is still my turn to select disciples. I will accept Xiao Yifeng." Su Qianni shouts so loudly that it causes pain in the palace master's ears. Then Sect Master says, "Good, it looks like the 9 palaces of Wentian have acquired disciples today, so I can be at ease now." And Guan Han is thinking, I didn't expect him to act like that. I've tried my best, so don't blame me. And Fang gets confused, and he says, "What exactly is this situation?" After this the scene shifts and we see Wuya Palace, main peak. And a disciple is saying to Fang, "Junior brother Xiao, this is the main peak of the Wuya Palace. The Master's Palace is just right in front. Don't worry, in Wuya Palace, I will not let anyone bully you." And this disciple is Wuya Palace eldest disciple, Xiang Tiange. Xiang Tiange gets so excited, due to which he places his hand firmly on Fang's shoulder. Due to which Fang starts feeling pain and Fang says, "I am feeling pain." And seeing this, Xiang Tiange says to Fang, "I'm sorry, junior brother. Your body is so weak, so I'm not able to really control my strength. Looks like it's been dislocated, I'll help you." But Fang says to Xiang Tiange, "I'm fine. Let's just quickly head to the palace." And seeing Xiang Tiange so concerned about him, Fang feels good, and he is thinking, Senior brother Xiang is the same as before, he really doesn't know how to control his strength. Speaking of my previous life, I also entered the Wuya Palace. However, at that time, I only became an odd job disciple, and it took me 20 years to gradually become a formal disciple. That time, it was senior brother Xiang who was in charge of training me. The amount of things I had to go through because of him. It's pretty good that this time I became the direct disciple of Wuya Palace due to my wife's interception. Then we see a girl, and this girl is Su Qianni's daughter, Su Miaoqing. And Miaoqing is saying, "Father, you really found a junior brother for me? When's he coming?" And Su Qianni is saying, "I acted quite on impulse. And it became like that." And Miaoqing says, "That won't do. You said in front of so many people that you were going to accept him as a direct disciple." And Su Qianni says, "I feel that it's good to take 1 and 2. And then a lady comes to that place, and this lady is Su Qianni's wife, Lin Zian. And she says, "Didn't you say that, although the child's spiritual roots are quite poor, his mind is quite mature? I'll help you guide him if you're really hesitant." And Su Qianni agrees to this. Then Xiang Tiange says to them, "Master, Madam, junior brother Xiao is here." And Su Qianni asks them to come inside. And Fang is about to go inside the room, but before that Xiang Tiange tells him, "Junior brother Xiao, just do what I instructed you to do, and you'll be fine." And Fang says thank you to Xiang Tiange. Then now Fang opens the door to go inside the room. And he goes inside. Then he greets everyone, and says to them, "Disciple Xiao Yifeng greets the master, madam and senior sister." After this the scene shifts and we are told, in the Wentian sect, disciples are generally divided into odd job disciples, normal disciples and direct disciples. Among them, the odd job disciples have almost no chance of receiving orthodox teachings and can only work continuously in exchange for the opportunity to become normal disciples. For normal disciples, although they cannot learn the truly exquisite supreme techniques, if they devote themselves to cultivation, they still have the opportunity to stand out. Direct disciples are extremely rare, and they enjoy the best resources of the sect with the sole goal of becoming the core pillar of the sect in the future. Fang is very happy, and he is saying, "I can't believe I really became a direct disciple of the Wuya Palace, and even have my own courtyard." I wonder what my wife said at that time. It's just that with my qualifications, even if I have the best techniques given to me, my cultivation will still be very slow. I need to find some other way to get stronger. Then suddenly someone knocks on Fang's door. Seeing this, Fang gets a little confused as to who would have come at this time. And Fang goes ahead and opens the door. There is a huge beast in front of him, and he roars loudly. But Feng is not afraid of that beast, and he makes a strange face. Then he says, "Senior sister, do you need something?" And in front of Feng is Miaoqing, and she, hanging upside down from the beast, says to Feng, "Why aren't you scared at all? Everyone else was scared by Whitey before." After listening to Miaoqing, Feng tells her, "I understand, senior sister. Please wait minutes." And Feng closes the door and opens the door again, and acts scared, then says to Miaoqing, "Senior sister, was that good?" And seeing Feng's acting, Miaoqing thinks for a while, then she says yes to Feng. But she keeps saying, "Wait, no. I have some business with you." And Feng gets confused after hearing this. And after this the scene shifts. Feng and Miaoqing have come to another place. And Xiang Tiange is saying to both of them, "Junior sister? Junior brother Xiao probably can't keep up with your cultivation lesson yet, so why did you bring him here?" And Miaoqing says, it's okay. Just teach us both together. Don't worry, as a senior sister, I'll teach him if he doesn't know." "Right, junior brother?" Then Feng says, "It's alright, senior brother. Just teach as you usually do." And Miaoqing is thinking, hee, everyone has always thought of me as the youngest and always forced me to take lessons. Now, there's finally someone that's weaker than me. My junior brother. I'm sorry. Your senior sister needs you to get your share of pain." Then Xiang Tiange says, "Okay, then I will talk about some simple things today. Although you have poor talent, junior brother, you should believe that diligence can make up for it." And Feng also gets ready, and Xiang Tiange further says, "Let me start with the division of realms. The realms of those who cultivate are divided into 9 major realms: refining qi, foundation building, golden core, nascent soul, transcendent, body recombining, hollow spirit, Mahayana, and crossing tribulations. And the Wentian sects. 9 scrolls of Wentian. Each correspond to a major realm. Today, I will first talk about." And Miaoqing says, "It's all learned things I've learned before, now I can finally slack off, I'll take a nap first. Anyway, with junior brother's qualifications, he'll probably take some time to learn." And Xiang Tiange says to Miaoqing, "I will now be testing you on the sword technique that I taught you yesterday." But Miaoqing asks Xiang Tiange, "But shouldn't you be reviewing the previous topics with junior brother?" And Xiang Tiange points and tells Miaoqing, "I've finished reviewing the previous topics with him already, and he's also finished learning today's topic." And Miaoqing gets very surprised when she sees Fang's skills. And Xiang Tiange is telling Miaoqing, "It has only been an hour. Although the younger brother has poor qualifications, he is an extremely intelligent agent. When I teach him something, he can basically remember it by looking at it once. And then when I look at a certain someone else." Miaoqing is very shocked to see Fang's talent. And she is saying, "An hour? How in the world? Is it possible that he's a study bug? Didn't we all agree on being bad at this? How could you secretly backstab me? So in the end, am really the only one that's terrible? If this goes on like this, won't he become like my senior brothers and sisters, and endlessly make me do homework? No! My standing as a senior sister is all for night now." And Feng goes to Miaoqing, and seeing her upset, Feng asks, "Senior sister? What's wrong?" And Miaoqing quickly stands up, and waves her hand in front of Feng, then she says, "Junior brother, let's go to the second senior brother and learn about talismans and formations." Then Miaoqing starts going ahead, and seeing her going, Feng also starts following her. And seeing both of them going, Xiang Tiange is saying, "It seems that the younger sister is feeling a sense of crisis now, which isn't bad at all." After this the scene shifts, and an elder is telling, talismans and formation are essentially of the same origin, that is, by allowing spiritual energy to operate in a special way to produce effects far beyond normal. Today we will start with the most basic 8 trigrams formation. The so-called Xiangua refers to the cycle of the heavenly way, and gentlemen should follow the heavenly way. Then Miaoqing tells that elder, "No, I can't sleep, I'm a senior sister now." And the elder says Miaoqing is very diligent today. Rather, it looks like junior brother Xiao seems to have a lot of doubts. And Miaoqing says smilingly, "Humph. Of course it's normal for my younger brother not to know these kinds of deep knowledge now. If you have any questions. Then Feng stands up and says to the elder, it's true. Have some doubts, so I would like to discuss them with you. The elder is a bit surprised, but asks him to tell Feng. And Feng says to the elder, you just said that the Qiangua is a 6-yang hexagram, which symbolizes overcoming the heavens, but I think it also means losing yourself to pride. The elder is surprised to hear Feng's words. But he laughs and tells Feng, I didn't think that the young junior brother Xiao would have such talents in understanding formations. What you said isn't wrong, and it is content that will be covered in higher grades. I thought it was a little too early to explain this to you. Then the elder looks at Rina, and says to her, Miaoqing, if you have anything you don't understand in the future, you can ask your junior brother. And Miaoqing is very shocked. Then after this Miaoqing and Feng are going somewhere, and Miaoqing is asking Feng, how did you even understand what that old man said? And Feng tells Miaoqing, actually, didn't understand some parts, that's why I asked if we could discuss some of the topics. And Feng is thinking, I wouldn't be someone of a high level if I didn't know these basic things. What I'm learning now isn't of any use, so I need to quickly advance so I can learn the things I need. But Miaoqing is thinking, damn it, I'm getting overshadowed by him. At least act like an actual junior brother who doesn't know anything. Looks like I have no other choice left. Then Miaoqing says to Feng, junior brother, let's go to our next class. And Miaoqing brings Feng to another place, and she is saying, this is the 4th senior sister's place. She's in charge of practical combat. And Feng is surprised to hear this. And Miaoqing further tells Feng, that's right. But don't worry, the 4th senior sister is very kind and loves reading. She's a really good person. I can definitely earn my dignity back now. After all, what we are looking at here is not understanding, but practical cultivation. Then Miaoqing comes to a girl with Feng, and this girl is at Wuya Palace. 4th disciple, Zhu Yushan. But Zhu Yushan says, sorry, I'm busy. Let's do it next time. And hearing this, Miaoqing says, the only problem is, she's often in her own world. And Feng becomes happy. Then he says, then let's not disturb the 4th senior sister. And Feng is thinking, are you kidding me? Right now I'm just a normal guy who hasn't even reached the first refining chi stage, and you want me to fight with the 4th senior sister in the nascent soul stage? Are you joking? Then Feng starts leaving this place directly. And seeing Feng leaving, Miaoqing tries to stop him. But as soon as she goes after Feng, her foot slips, due to which she directly collides with Feng. And the luggage behind Feng falls. And Miaoqing falls on Feng. And Miaoqing is asking Feng if he is okay? So Feng says, I am fine. But then both of them feel something. There is a shadow behind them. And when they look ahead, there is a limit in front of them, which is very angry, and she is saying, you guys wanted practical combat class, right? And seeing Zhu Yushan's anger, both of them get very nervous. And Feng is saying that we are leaving from here. But Zhu Yushan closes the door. Then she says, don't worry, I'm not a demon. And after this the scene shifts, and we see Guan Han Palace. And Guan Han is taking a bath with hot water. Then someone tells Guan Han, Palace Master, after this, you and Immortal Bai Yun will have a meeting. And Guan Han says, push it back, I have other matters to attend to. Then Guan Han becomes a little silent, and she is thinking, I wonder how that bastard is holding up in the Wuya Palace. On the other hand, we see outside Guan Han's room. There are 2 servants at this place who are talking. And one of the servants says, what's going on? Is the palace master still angry? And the other servant says, yeah. Ever since she came back, she's been in a very bad mood. In any case, let's not enter her room now. And then both of them hear a bang inside the room, because of which both of them get nervous. And we see inside that Guan Han is very nervous, due to which he has frozen the entire room with ice. And she is saying, he's only in the first stage of refining chi. I even added a high-grade elixir in the medicinal bath for you. If it was anyone else, it would have been close to the foundation building realm already. Exactly how bad are your qualifications? Speaking of which, why did I even decide to use such a precious item on him? We don't even know each other that well. No, I just wanted to repay him for helping me improve my technique. Yeah, that's right. I just wanted to repay him. After this, the scene shifts. And Su Qianni is surprised, and he is saying, What? You managed to get to the first stage of refining qi in one night? And Feng greets Su Qianni and says, It's all thanks to the herbs that my master gave me. And Su Qianni says, Even if it's the herbs, the effect shouldn't be that great. Then his wife says, It's a good thing that you managed to break through. But remember to remain modest and never let arrogance overtake your mind. After this, Feng comes out of the room. And Xiang Tiange is waiting for him outside the room. Then he says to Feng, Good job, Junior. Brother Xiao, I heard you broken through to the first stage of refining qi. And Feng smilingly tells Xiang Tiange, I was just lucky. And Xiang Tiange is very happy, due to which he holds Feng tightly. Then he says, Luck is also a part of strength, and in my opinion, your talent wasn't bad in the first place, ha ha. And Feng is saying to Xiang Tiange, Senior brother Xiang, you're suffocating me. And Xiang Tiange apologizes to him, and he says, Oh, sorry. I can't really control my strength. And Feng says no problem. But he is thinking anyway. The cultivation method I'm using this time round is a combination of two teachings, and even though it will make me a lot stronger, the progress should be a lot slower than in my previous life. What exactly did my wife add at that time? Or could it be that my cultivation talent really became better? And after this 2 years pass, and Miaoqing would have made a breakthrough. And his father is saying, Miaoqing has broken through the 7th stage of refining qi. She has superior talent, and although we keep suppressing her realm to consolidate her foundation, it's still very easy for her to break through the realm. And his wife says, compared to her, the other guy is a lot more worrying. And Su Qianni says, Humph. Talking about him makes me angry. Then Miaoqing comes out of her room, then she says, Haha. I broke through. Junior brother, where are you? Then we see Feng, who is saying to Miaoqing, Congratulations on breaking through, senior sister. And Miaoqing comes to Feng, and she is surprised. And she is asking Feng, Why are you still in the 4th stage of refining qi? And Feng tells, My qualifications are bad, haha. And hearing this, Su Qianni gets very angry, and he says to Feng, 2 years. Do you know what I've done for him for 2 years? Even a pig can cultivate faster than him with the amount of treasures he's used. And his wife asks him to remain calm, but Su Qianni says, No, I'm going back first. I feel like I will beat him up if I see his face. And his wife says, Then let's go back together, then both of them leave that place. And Feng is a little surprised. Why did both of them leave this place? But Miaoqing is very happy and she says to Feng, Who cares about what that old man is thinking? Junior brother, let's go play. But Feng is a little nervous, and he says, But I still need to cultivate. But Miaoqing does not listen to Feng, she binds Feng with her power. And starts taking her with her, and she says, it's fine. Anyway, you cultivate so slowly I'm sure missing 1 or 2 days is fine. I'll bring you to a great place. And Miaoqing is taking Feng away with her very fast. Due to which Feng starts vomiting, and he is thinking, I didn't think cultivating a combination of 2 techniques would be this slow. What exactly did my wife give me that time that I managed to break through in 1 night? Then Miaoqing tells Feng that I am going to take you away very fast. And very fast she takes Feng away with her. Then she brings Feng to another place. And as soon as they both get down, Feng starts vomiting. But when Miaoqing is looking ahead, there is a huge dead beast in front of her. Seeing that, she is very surprised. And also Feng. Then Feng looks at that dead beast and says, Miaoqing, look at this wound, it was killed in 1 hit. And Miaoqing says, this is a beast that the Wuya palace was raising. Which bastard dares to mess around with us? Then Miaoqing takes out a ball from her, and throws it away, says, I choose you. Whitey. But is this a Pokemon anime going on? And Miaoqing says to her beast, go back, check for the killer. And Feng says to Miaoqing, senior sister, this Gale Wolf is at least in the 5th stage of refining qi. It is likely that something more powerful did this to it. And Miaoqing says, don't worry, we're at the back of the mountain and all the strong beasts have long been cleared out by my parents. The remaining beasts don't pose a problem to me. Miaoqing's wolf senses something, due to which it starts running forward. And seeing this, Miaoqing says to Feng, "Let's go." It looks like Whitey has discovered something. Whitey transformed back to his original form. And as both of them go some distance further, they see that their wolf has stopped at one place. And Miaoqing is asking, "Why did you stay here?" Then when she comes to the front, she is surprised to see in front of her, because some wolves are dead in front of them. And seeing this, Guan Han gets very shocked. Then suddenly something passes behind both of them, which Feng feels. And that thing attacks Guan Han and Feng. But Feng survives the attack and also saves Guan Han and Miaoqing. Then Feng asks Miaoqing if she is okay. So Miaoqing coughs and says that I am fine. But then the thing attacks Miaoqing's wolf, causing the wolf to crash into a tree. And seeing this, Miaoqing gets scared. And she sees that her wolf is injured. She then uses her pokeball to summon the wolf back. Then Feng nervously asks Miaoqing to look up. And a very big snake attacks them. And he also prepares an attack on both of them. And then Miaoqing, using her power, creates a spiritual sword. And to stop the attack of that snake, she puts the spiritual sword in front, due to which there is an explosion at this place. And both of them are saved from the snake attack. But due to the attack of that snake, poisonous smoke spreads at this place. After smelling this, Miaoqing becomes very weak and she falls down. Feng gets scared after seeing this. And to take advantage of this opportunity, the snake comes forward to attack both of them. But this was Feng's plan, so that the snake would come to him. And Miaoqing now gets ready to attack that snake, because she was waiting for that snake to come closer. And she activates her formation and attacks that snake, due to which that snake is suffering a lot. And Miaoqing has tied that snake with the help of her power. Miaoqing makes her stop the snake, and she comes down. But she is very tired because she has used too much power. And she also thanks Feng. And then his leg starts wavering, so Feng takes care of Miaoqing. And Feng asks, "Senior sister, be careful." And Miaoqing says, "I'm fine, I just accidentally got poisoned by snake venom. Let's return back to the sect quickly and tell the whole situation to my parents." But then the snake starts using its power, due to which it slowly starts becoming free. And looking at him, Miaoqing says, "How is it possible? My parents have said that monsters with advanced cultivation levels in the chi refining stage will never be able to break free and cannot use this move." Feng is very shocked, and he is saying, "So this venom is foundation building period. Now that snake is free." And he is about to attack both of them. And Miaoqing asks Feng to step back. And the snake has attacked Miaoqing, but Miaoqing is fighting with that snake. And she is saying, "No, this guy's body is so hard to penetrate, I have think another ways." Right. Eyes. Then she climbs on top of that snake, and moves forward to attack. But then the snake attacks with its eyes, due to which Miaoqing stops at one place. And she is thinking, the poison in the body, spreading rapidly. And the snake attacks Miaoqing with its tail, but Miaoqing makes a shield at the right time, because of which she is saved. But she is now very injured, and at the same time her power has been exhausted. And she is saying, "It seems that this is the last day of my life." But then the snake moves forward to attack Miaoqing. And that snake is just about to eat Miaoqing, but then the snake stops, and Miaoqing gets surprised seeing this. Then we see that Feng has caught hold of the tail of that snake, because of which the snake is unable to move forward. But Miaoqing's condition is very bad. And Feng holds the tail of that snake with great difficulty. Using all his strength, he picks up the snake and throws it. Then Feng goes to Miaoqing, and Miaoqing is saying to Feng, "Junior brother, you go quickly." Then Feng picks up Miaoqing and he says, "Senior sister, I already sent a signal for the help in the sect." And Feng asks Miaoqing to send a signal over the sky, and Miaoqing does the same. Then Miaoqing is saying, "I'm sorry. It's all my fault." And Feng says, "Don't worry, senior sister, leave it to me next." Then Feng keeps Guan Han at a place. Then he looked back and saw that snake. And he starts smiling. Then the snake directly attacks Feng with its tail. But at this time Feng also gets ready to fight with that snake. And Feng uses his punch to stop the attack of that snake. And he says, "Let me practice with you." But Feng's attack does nothing to that snake. Rather, his elephant breaks. And seeing this, Feng is thinking, the gap in our realm is too big, although I was able to shake this beast, but I can't hold him for so long. But then Feng gets scared, because the snake is ready to make another attack on him. And Feng moves forward to stop that attack. And directly attacks the snake's mouth, due to which blood starts coming out from the snake's mouth. And that snake becomes more angry. And he attacks Feng again. And his attack causes an explosion, but Feng escapes from his attack. Then Feng directly climbs on top of that snake, and that snake sees Feng, and moves his body very fast, and hits the top of the trees. Due to which Feng is facing a lot of trouble. Then Feng is ready to use his skills. And with the help of his skill he attacks that snake, due to which the snake starts feeling a lot of pain. Then Feng falls down, and directly hits a tree, due to which he gets badly injured. And he is saying, "It's a pity that I was able to slightly injure this damn beast. This time we're really going to die." And that snake moves forward to kill Feng. But then someone attacks that snake, due to which its neck gets cut, and the snake dies. And Miaoqing's mother comes to his place. And she is very nervous after seeing Miaoqing. On the other side we see Guan Han's palace. A lot of energy is coming out from that place. And Guan Han is doing her cultivation and increasing her power. And she is saying, "It's strange, I was at the critical stage of practicing ice heart technique, so why did I feel a little panicked? The hidden dangers should have been eliminated. Why don't I go and see that bastard? It's been several years since I last saw him. I wonder if he has improved over the years. Just go and see him. I don't know him anything now." And as she goes outside, she notices something. And when she looks ahead, she sees a man. And seeing him, Guan Han is thinking that, "Isn't that Taoist Guanxing?" Then Guan Han asks Guanxing to stop. And she comes to Guanxing, and says to him, "Looking at the direction you're going, are you going to Wuya Palace?" "But what's for?" So Guanxing tells Guan Han, "Sai, do you still remember that junior brother Qianyi accepted a disciple a few years ago? Just now, junior brother Qianyi sent me a message, saying that disciple is seriously injured, and asked me to go and help him, and he also said to me that it's just a guy with no spiritual roots." And as soon as Guan Han hears this, she starts going towards Feng very fast. And seeing this, Guanxing gets very surprised. Then sometime after this, we see Miaoqing, who is still unconscious. And second senior brother is sitting near him, and Zhu Yushan is also there. And Zhu Yushan is saying, "Second senior brother, how's the situation of Miaoqing now?" So second senior brother tells, "There were some fractures and some snake venom in them outer band. But don't worry, have cured them, and she will be able to awake in 2 days. Right now, the problem is on the junior brother's side." Then Xiang Tiange comes to that place, and seeing Xiang Tiange, second senior brother says, "Senior brother, how's the situation over there?" And Zhu Yushan says, "Junior brother, how's the situation over there?" So Xiang Tiange says, "Junior brother's injury was too severe. The master and the master's wife are doing their best to heal him, but he could only barely hold his breath." And hearing this, Zhu Yushan says, "Don't worry, master has already called Senior Guanxing. He is very good at medical skills." So Xiang Tiange says while leaving, "I want to go to the back mountain." And as Xiang Tiange is about to leave, second senior brother, using the talisman, seals the place. Then he says to Xiang Tiange, "The mountain is so big, what can you find alone?" And Zhu Yushan says, "Yes, senior brother, you should calm down." Xiang Tiange is getting angry, and he is saying, "So I don't do anything, just watch him die." So second senior brother says to Xiang Tiange, "Wait a moment, there is great power coming." Then just then Guan Han comes to that place, and Guanxing also comes behind Guan Han. But he is very tired, and he is saying, "Ha! Junior sister Guan Han, I can't do it anymore, I'm too tired. Take a break." Seeing Guan Han and Guanxing, all three greet them. And Xiang Tiange tells them, "We pay respect to the senior Guanxing? But why senior Guan Han is here?" And Guan Han asks Xiang Tiange, "Where is Xiao Yifeng?" So Xiang Tiange says, junior brother, he is being treated by the master, and the master's wife in the main hall. And on hearing this, both of them leave that place. Then Xiang Tiange is asking second senior brother, has master also invited senior Guan Han? And second senior brother says, no, I don't know. And after this we see Feng. And Su Qian's wife is healing Feng. And Su Qian is saying, I'll do it, madam, you take some rest for a while. But his wife says, I still have some energy left, but Xiaofeng's pulse is getting weaker. When will Mr. Guangxing arrive? And then Guan Han and Guangxing come to that place. And looking at them, Master Qi says to them, you're finally here, huh? Senior sister Guan Han? Why are you here? But Guan Han does not respond to Su Qian's question, and she says to Guangxing, why are you still standing here? Go and take a look at him and quickly heal him. And Guangxing goes ahead and says, you are so bossy. And Guangxing is looking at Feng's condition, and he gets very shocked after seeing him. And seeing Guangxing upset, Guan Han asks him, how is his condition? And Guangxing tells, I'll tell you the truth, he's badly injured, his meridians are all damaged, so he can be cured. To be honest, it is not a wise move to forcefully save a disciple who has mediocre talent. Then Guan Han says, I'll provide you all the herbs you need. And Su Qian says, how can that be? I'm his master, I've got all the treasures he needs. But Guan Han says to Su Qian, since you still know he's your disciple, then why did you let him get hurt like this? And both of them start arguing like this. But Su Qian's wife silences him, and she tells him, treat him first, senior brother Guangxing, just do whatever you want. And Guangxing says, now that you've all said that, then I have nothing to say. Guys, let's get started. Then he spends 3 hours treating Feng. And Guangxing is telling, now he's completely safe and fine. And Guan Han says, this time it's all thanks to senior brother Guangxing help. And Guangxing says, haha, it's nothing big deal. No need to thank. But Guangxing is saying in his mind, fucking hell. You spend so many rare materials like you are spending water. And it is only to cure mediocre disciple. As expected, all of you who are the masters of the palace are rich and powerful. This is what you have earned through the use of magical elixirs. Then Guangxing tells them, I have something else to do, so I'll take my leave. And he's thinking, it's so annoying to spend so much money on treatment this useless disciple, and compare each other to each other. I can't stay any longer. Then Guan Han says, it's time for me to go back. And seeing Guan Han going, Su Qian says, senior sister Guan Han, don't know why you would help my disciple like this. And Guan Han looks back and says, he did me a favor at first. So this time, I will keep him safe. This part starts and we see that many people are dead. And Feng is also there at that place, who is watching all these things. Just then he hears someone's voice, perhaps he recognizes that voice. And when he looks ahead, he sees a man who is killing someone. And that man is taking the name of Feng only. And the one who kills him is none other than the evil form of Feng. And Feng's evil form would have killed that man. And seeing this, Feng is saying, this is the last life. When I went crazy, is this a dream? And then Feng hears someone's voice, and that voice is saying, you bastard. You still don't want to stop yet. Xiao Yifeng. Are you crazy? You murdered your own sect members and also murdered Brother Su. You murdered your own master. And the evil form of Feng is saying, I murdered the master? No, how could I? And that voice is saying, you still dare to talk nonsense when you're overflowing with the demonic energy. Today I'll kill you in order to avenge for sect members and Brother Su. And Feng is trying to control himself, but the evil form inside him does not allow him to do so. Then Feng says to that voice, hey, it's me who did it, so what? You all must die today. Then that voice sends some of his companions to catch Feng. And a huge explosion occurs at that place. And Feng is seeing all these things, and he is thinking, in my last life, I was corrupted by a demonic remnant soul who had passed through the tribulation period. And I was forced to live with him. And Feng's evil form survived the attacks of all those people. And he is trying to escape from that place, and he is saying, Is that all the Wentian sect is capable of? And those people are saying, chase him. Everyone, no need to hold back anymore, life and death don't matter. Fang is thinking, seeing all these things, under various coincidences, was disturbed by him, fell into madness, and even shouldered the accusation of killing my master. Mo Tianding, you entangled me for half of my life. Then Feng's dream breaks, and he comes to his senses, and he is saying, I will never spare you. And Feng has Meiking, and Meiking is very surprised to hear Feng's words. And she is saying, are you really unwilling to forgive me? Wu, junior brother. I was wrong, you know. How about giving me a good beating? I won't fight back, I promise. And then hearing all those voices, Suqiani's wife comes to that place. And seeing Feng conscious, he calls out to Suqiani. Then we see, Feng is asking Meiking, how long have I been sleeping? And Meiking tells, you've been sleeping for 10 days. Feng makes a strange face and then says, what? 10 days? Then suddenly Suqiani comes to that place, and he is asking, Xiao Yifeng woke up. How is he doing? Seeing Suqiani, Feng tries to get up, but Suqiani tells him, no need to get up, I just came to check on you. Then Suqiani's wife says to Feng, Xiao Feng, thank you for saving Miaoqing. If it weren't for you, I would have regretted it for a lifetime. And Feng tells them, Mahat simple did net for disciples should do. And Feng is thinking, in the dream of past life, I was being pursued by the sect for killing my master. It's surprising waking up to such a scene. Then Suqiani says, Madam, please take Miaoqing out first. I have something to say to Xiao Yifeng. As soon as Meiking hears this, she says, why? I also want to stay. Don't try to make things difficult for him. And Suqiani's wife says to Meiking, be good, your father just wants to express gratitude to Xiao Feng. You know he values his pride, and we're in a situation where he can't let go. And Feng says to Suqiani, Master, is there something you want to say? So Suqiani says, what's your relationship with Master Guan Han? And Feng says, Master, why do you ask such a question? So Suqiani says, learning that you got injured, she made a special trip and exercised considerable effort. She mentioned that you had helped her before. What does that mean? And Feng is surprised to know this, and he says, what, she specifically came. Master, actually it's just a very small matter. I can't believe Senior Guan Han still remembers that. I mentioned before that when a Guan Han Senior encountered me, our village had already been destroyed by a wolf demon. Back then, Senior Guan Han had disguised herself as an ordinary person and was trapped by the wolf demon. Be careful. Leave quickly. I will deal with these monsters. Hurry. If you don't leave it will be too late. You helped me, next I will help you. What do you mean? Girl, are you scared? I didn't know at that time that Senior was a powerful being, and later Senior rescued me. And after hearing all this, Suqiani sleeps for a while, then he says, it turns out that although he is immortal, he has a heart to save the world. You did well. And Feng laughs and says, haha master, thank you very much. And Feng is thinking, it's fortunate that the process of meeting in the previous life with the mother can help explain things. And Suqiani says, however, this time she spent quite a bit of money. In the future, if you meet her again, be sure to treat her with courtesy. And Feng says, Master, rest assured, I will remember this kindness deeply. And Suqiani says, that's good. Take good care of yourself. I won't disturb you further. Then Feng says, farewell, Master. And Suqiani says while leaving, Miaoqing's matter. Thank you. And Feng says about Suqiani, TSK, this old arrogant. Just then Feng sits down. And he is thinking something, then he is saying, accepting such a favor from heaven this time, it seems I need to accelerate the pace of improving my cultivation. Although soft rice is delicious, it also has to be hard, huh? My cultivation level has reached the 5th level of training? Perfect timing. Reaching the 5th level of Qi training is the threshold for performing the feather fall technique. There's a place. I can finally go now. After this we see the night scene, and in this dark night, Feng is going somewhere very fast. And he reaches a peak, and looking down he is saying, it should be at this location. Then Feng jumps down from the peak. And he is going down fast. And only then he sees something, then he uses one of his techniques. And reaches that place. Then he says, "That's great. This place is still there. If I hadn't reached their 5th level of Qi training, I really wouldn't have been able to come to this place." And as he moves forward, he sees a skeleton. And he also has a sword. And Feng looks at him and says, "This is the legacy left by a cultivator in the Mahayana realm. This should be the place where an enemy of the Wentian sect was located before their death. As long as someone inherits these techniques, they are bound to soar to new heights. You must be thinking so, right?" And Mo Tianqin. Then Feng burns that skeleton. But the fire has no effect on that skeleton, and seeing this Feng says, so enduring, "Huh? Fine, I'll stay here and burn your bones completely." But then something tells Feng, "Wait a minute, little friend." And a spirit comes out of that skeleton, and she says, "Is the young one also a disciple of the holy sect? Why do you know this seat's name? Perhaps we are from the same sect." But Feng directly attacks that spirit with fire. And that spirit survives Fang's fire with great difficulty. And Feng tells him in spirit, "Mo Tianding, O Mo Tianqin, look at yourself now, truly shameless. Despite once being a cultivator beyond the nascent soul stage, now you bow and scrape before a refiner, forfeiting any semblance of dignity. How about I help you find relief sooner rather than later?" And Feng attacks that spirit with a talisman, and seeing this the spirit says, "A soul-breaking talisman specifically targeting the primordial spirit. You've come for me." And that spirit is able to escape from the talisman with great difficulty. And he is saying, "Little friend, we have no grievances or enmity. Why do you treat me like this?" And Feng says to that spirit, "You don't remember me? We used to be very familiar with each other." And that spirit is thinking, "Darn it. If this continues, I will perish here. I must find a way to escape." Then that spirit starts running very fast, avoiding all the attacks of Feng. And he says to Feng while running, "Today, I'll take note of this grudge, whoever you are. In the future, I will surely repay this debt." And as soon as he goes ahead, he gets surprised, because there is an array formation in front of him, which he cannot cross. And seeing this, Feng is smiling, and he says, "How does the taste of the 8 trigrams soul-locking array feel? It's something prepared quite thoroughly for you this time. And Mo Tianqin, today I will not let you go." And Feng is thinking, in the previous life, this scoundrel almost took over me. Cultivation, causing me to lose my sanity for half a lifetime, occasionally falling into bouts of deviation. Then that spirit says, "Damn. You, a Qi refiner, don't appreciate my gesture. I'll make you understand the consequences. This it will swallow you today." The spirit then moves forward to attack Feng, but Feng smiles seeing her coming towards him. Then he calls that sword towards him, and says, "The sword that slays immortals, the LDrago extermination sword." And Feng takes a slash from that sword, due to which the spirit gets cut into 2 parts. And that spirit starts disappearing, and he is saying, "Why can you control the myriad spirit extermination sword?" Then Feng starts tying that spirit with the help of a chain. And that spirit is saying, "The Tao heart lock of the Wentian sect. Are you from the Wentian sect? Darn it. Even if I'm reduced to ashes, I'll drag you down with me. This is the soul departure cone from my holy sect." And Feng starts using his power. Seeing which the spirit gets surprised, and he says, "The Heart Sutra of the Formless Temple. Its nature is inherently pure and clear. It inherently possesses completeness, originally without birth or extinction. Originally unshakable, it gives rise to a myriad phenomena." Wait. Little friend, please hear me out. And Feng says, "Oh? Do you have anything else to say?" And that spirit says, "Little friend, I presume you also come from a prestigious background. You should know how many treasures a Mahayana cultivator possesses. I can reveal their locations to you in exchange for my life." And Feng says, "It does sound quite appealing, doesn't it?" And the spirit says, That's right. As long as you spare me, all those treasures in the future will be yours. Friend, with your broad knowledge, You must be in great need of various cultivation resources. And that spirit is thinking, give me a little more time, and I can break free from this damn Dao heart lock. And Feng says, what you say makes sense. After I've eliminated you, I'll find an opportunity to claim those resources you left behind. And then a huge explosion occurs at that place. And Feng looks at that thing and says, huh? This is, within me, what is devouring the power of Mo Tianling's soul. And the lotus flower comes in Feng's hand. And Feng looks at it and says, this lotus flower, what exactly is it? In my previous life, I was almost taken over by Mo Tianling, and it was with it that I preserved my self-awareness. It's just that at that time, it was only a bud. Forget it, I'll find out eventually. I can time travel back to the present. Maybe it's related to this thing. Now, what's most important is, of course, it's bag licking. This book, I don't know what material it's made of. It surprisingly doesn't burn. In this day and age, everyone uses jade slips. Only those old-school sects still rely on written records. Obviously, such precious artifacts should be under my care. This thing is quite valuable. It seems to be a high-quality defensive magic tool. I definitely shouldn't waste it. And there's also a storage ring. This is a jackpot. And then that sword comes to Feng, and Feng is looking at it, and he is saying, immortal slaying. Sword, this sword might not be a good sign. The immortal slaying sword, undoubtedly an ominous weapon, born in the midst of endless slaughter. This weapon is exceptionally powerful, and many have fought fiercely to claim it. However, those who finally obtains it, almost all of them end up having their soul power mercilessly drained by it, not a drop left. The reason Mo Tianling looks like that is also thanks to this sword. Hee hee. Well, if that's the case, let's meet again in the future. Feng starts leaving this place quickly, but the sword quickly appears in front of Feng. And that sword is saying to Feng, you smell really nice. Then that sword transforms, and she says to Feng, your soul smells delicious. Can I take a bite? And Feng gets very scared after seeing him, and he is telling him with the sword, cough, cough. I'm not enough for you right now. How about this? Follow me. And when I am a bit plumper, then you can take a bite. Sound good? And Feng is nervously saying in his mind, whoa. Danger, danger. If this thing takes a bite, I'm afraid I'll be drained dry on the spot. And that sword further says, follow you? Are you suggesting I acknowledge you as my master? But you're so weak. Why should I follow you? Wouldn't it be better if I just eat you? And Feng says, well, there's a reason for that. Look. At least I'm much more handsome than that skeleton frame, right? And that sword says, that makes sense. Alright, the decision is made. I'll follow you for now. I'm so tired. I'll take a nap. Got it. Next time I wake up, you want me. Then that sword transfers into its sword form. And it comes into the hands of Feng. Then Feng keeps it in his storage ring. And he says, still relying on handsome guys, huh? This trip was finally not in vain. In this ring, there are actually several hundred top-grade spirit stones. I'm off. This should be enough for me to cultivate for quite a while. Then Feng leaves this place. And after this the scene shifts and we see Icefield Polaris Northern Empire City. And a girl is saying, next up, the next item is the Dragon Guarding Body Jade Pendant. This jade pendant was crafted by a senior cultivator before transcending the tribulation. It requires no spiritual energy activation and can exert the protective power equivalent to a three-dimensional nascent infant stage without the need for any cultivation. Opening bid, 500 high-grade spirit stones, and after listening to that girl, some people are saying, it's just something for the younger generation, yet it's starting at such a. Exactly. This thing is unnecessary for high-level cultivators. It's too extravagant for the younger generation. I wonder who would buy this thing to give it to their disciples. What a joke, unless they're their own flesh and blood. After listening to those people, the girl is saying, starting at 500, is there really no one interested? This item is already quite a good deal. Then suddenly someone bids Rs. 600, and hearing this the girl becomes very happy. Then that girl is saying, the fairy Guan Han from the Wentian sect bids 600 spirit stones. Any higher bids? And as soon as all those people see Guan Han, they become very surprised. And Guan Han is smiling, and she is thinking, this item does seem to suit him perfectly. And to Guan Han he tells the dragon guarding body jade pendant is available. And looking at him she is saying, when I return, that guy should be getting ready for the law enforcement team training, and she is thinking, there should still be time for him to join. Then Guan Han's servant says, who do you think is the jade pendant for? Could it be for you? And the other servant says, Don't say that randomly. I thought it might be for you. And while they are all going ahead, they hear a man's voice. And he says, Dear fairies, please stay for a moment. Then Guan Han says to the man, So, you're the city lord of the Northern Empire City. May I ask what brings you here? Then we see that man. And this man happens to be City Lord of the Northern Empire City, Lin Tianru. And the City Lord says, Fairy Guan Han has just participated in the auction for a while. Are you leaving already? We still have many treasures to showcase. If the fairy is interested. But Guan Han doesn't pay much attention to what he says, and while passing by her she says to him, No need, I'm not interested in other treasures. City Lord, you may leave. And seeing them going, the City Lord tries to stop them. But those three do not listen to the City Lord. And those people go ahead. But the City Lord comes after them, and says to them, I wonder which beloved disciple the fairy bought the jade pendant for earlier? I happen to have a bottle of jade du pill here. Perhaps it could be a gift for. And seeing such action of City Lord, Guan Han's servant places the sword on City Lord. And she says to both City Lords, City Lord, please don't move. Please don't make things difficult for us. And now the City Lord can't do anything, it just watches them go. And he is saying, even the disciples are so heroic. And then someone comes behind the City Lord, and places his hand on the City Lord's shoulder. Then he says, What are you looking at? They've already left. And City Road looks at that guy and says, Hey Lao guy. If you're not participating in the auction, what are you? What is happening here? And the guy says, Hey, auction is not as entertaining as watching fairy-like beings, right? And the City Lord says, Don't talk nonsense, I'm just here to send her off. But the man is saying, Alright, we're all old acquaintances. I don't know you yet. You've been eyeing Fairy Guan Han for quite a while, haven't you? And the City Lord says, Cough, cough. It's just admiration. And the man says, Unfortunately, I heard she's not interested in any man, otherwise I might as well give it a shot, I'm out. Going back to check out the auction. You might as well give up on that hope. And after listening to that man's words, the City Lord is saying, Not interested in men, huh? Then after this the scene is set and we see, Wentian sect Wuya Palace, and a girl is saying to Xiang Tianga, I pay respect, senior brother. And Xiang Tianga says, Is my junior brother out of seclusion? And the girl says, Not yet, the young master has been in seclusion for a month. And Xiang Tianga says, I understand. Then I'll come to meet him later. As Xiang Tianga moves ahead, he sees that a very bright light is emanating from a place. And seeing him, Xiang Tianga says, It seems he is out of seclusion. Then Xiang Tianga starts going there. And Fang asks Xiang Tianga to come inside. And Xiang Tianga goes inside, and as soon as he goes inside, Fang attacks Xiang Tianga. And seeing this, Xiang Tianga also gets ready, and he also prepares his stomach, and stops that attack. And Xiang Tianga is very happy saying, Yes, little junior brother, it seems that you are already very familiar with the strength of the 7th level of Qi training. And Fang says, Senior brother is mighty, directly dispersing my sword Qi with a single punch. And Xiang Tianga says, Hee, the power just now was quite impressive. It shows you haven't been slacking off during this time. I can rest assured for the upcoming law enforcement team training. And Fang says, Law enforcement team training? Then Xiang Tianga tells Fang, Yes, according to our sect's regulations, disciples with cultivation reaching the 7th layer of Qi training must participate in the law enforcement team training as part of their experience. It's just that after you broke through to the 7th layer of Qi training, you've been in seclusion, so I haven't had the chance to tell you. This is yours token. It was sent to you a month ago. Remember, the law enforcement team training is a mix of all kinds of people. Be extremely cautious in your actions. If you encounter difficulties, use the secret technique to inform me directly. And Feng says, many thanks, senior brother. Then Feng is asking Xiang Tiange, senior brother, is there anything else? So Xiang Tiange tells, well, recently Miaoying has been busy advancing to the foundation establishment stage. The master and mistress hope she breaks through soon. 50 she might not have time to accompany you. Junior brother, please don't mind. And hearing this Feng says, senior brother, please rest assured, I am sensitive. Then Xiang Tiange says, then I can rest assured. I need to go back to report, so I'll take my leave for now. And Xiang Tiange leaves that place. And Feng is saying, the senior brother has already left. Come out. And then Mei King appears hanging upside down, and she says, even senior brother didn't notice me. How did you know I was here? And Feng throws an apple towards her and says, do you really think senior brother didn't notice you? And Mei King catches that apple. And while eating that apple she says, what do you mean? So Feng says, the words senior brother said before leaving were a hint. Senior brother knew you were here. Him pretending not to notice means you being here was approved by the master and mistress. The translation is if you say that you want to participate in training with me, something like that, it is absolutely a lie. Am I right? After listening to Feng, Mei King tells him, people like you can analyze so much from just one sentence. Are all of you this complete? And Feng says, do you think everyone is as naive as you? So, senior sister, did you really come here to see me off? Then Mei King says, I initially wanted to see if there was a chance for us to participate together in that training. But it seems my parents are keeping a close eye on me, so I'll have to focus on more serious matters now. Here, this is from my parents for you. And Mei King gives something to Feng. Like a sword. This is a top-quality fire-attributed spiritual weapon from my father. It not only possesses extraordinary lethality, but can also be used as a flying weapon. This is the fire crow formation from my mother. As long as there is spiritual power remaining, even enemies at the foundation building stage will find it challenging to break through. This is a collection of various useful items prepared by senior brothers and sisters for you. It has a bit of everything. Take your time to go through it when you have the chance. And Feng looks at those things and says, These are too valuable. What else did they say? Then Mei King says, my parents said, first, try not to cause trouble outside. Take care of yourself. Second, if you get into trouble, you better not lose the fight. Be more ruthless, so that those who dare to offend our Wuya palace will never dare to offend us again in their entire lives. And Feng laughs and says, you'll tell the master and mistress. I won't let them down, I promise. Then Mei King starts leaving, and she says, little junior brother, I'll head back now. I'll come visit you later. And Feng tells him, remember to thank master and mistress on your behalf. Then Mei King leaves from this place. And Feng is saying, I originally thought that if I had the opportunity in the future, I would find a way to go to Guan Han Palace to eat soft food. Now I seem to think that Wuya Palace is just fine? Maybe I should think about it again. Speaking of which, wonder how Lu Hanyan has been lately. I haven't seen her since she saved me last time. Then after this the scene shifts and we see Jingguang Sect. And a man is saying, ha! Guan Han is truly worthy of being the leader of the Wentian sect. I really admire you. Then we see Guan Han. And Guan Han is saying to them, you're too kind. There will be many matters for your sect to handle in the future. Then an elder says, it's easy to talk about. By the way, do you want the real person to stay and visit? And Guan Han says, no, we still have important things to do. We'll visit again someday. Then the elder says, okay, no need for goodbyes. Take care on your way. Then Guan Han starts leaving that place, and seeing her leaving, the elder says to one of his servants, Mingguang informs the disciples that the sect was closed, and the mountain closed. And that servant says, Sect master. Didn't you previously tell Master Wentian that you would help them? And the elder is saying, humph. Whether it's the demonic sect or the righteous faction, both want to win over neutral sects like ours. but I refuse to get involved in their mess. Follow me. And that servant says yes, master. And after this we see Guan Han, which is going from that place. And she is saying to her servant, alas, how many more places do we have to visit? And her servant says, master, we still have 3 sects to visit. And Guan Han says, promises and words may not be of much use. Well then, let's proceed to the next one. And as they are all going forward, they are stopped by a man, and the man says, fairy, we meet again. And we see it is none other than the city lord. The one who is wearing girls' clothes. Don't know what is going on in this mind. And that city lord is saying to Guan Han, I heard that the fairy dislikes men, so I changed my appearance. What does the fairy think? And as soon as those 3 girls see the city lord that he is wearing girls' clothes, all 3 of them get very shocked, and very angrily say to the city lord, get out. Off here. Then after this the scene shifts and we see Wentian Sect Disciple Hall. And at this place 2 people are talking. And the first man among them speaks, hi brothers, I heard that the harvest has been good recently? Then the other guy says, hee, our team just hunted a 9-level chi-refining monster, gaining quite a few points in exchange. And then a man comes to that place. And when they see that man, they start talking about him, and they say, isn't that Tang Pei from Team B? Judging by his expression, it seems like he got assigned some unpleasant task this time. I heard they've been short-staffed in their team, and there's a core disciple who has not shown up. He's quite unhappy about it. Indeed, a core disciple. Quite enviable, isn't it? Then Tang Pei goes towards a room, and opens its door, and he comes inside. And we see 3 people sitting at that place, and one of them is a girl saying something to the team leader, and another man says to the team leader, what's the mission for our team this time? And Tang Pei tells them, our team's mission this time is to patrol the Tianhe River. And this girl happens to be Lin Mi, disciple of the Wentian sect. And she says, Lin Mi, guarding the Tianhe River? Lately, the nearby monsters there are more aggressive than usual. And that other man is Zhu Ming, a disciple of the Wentian sect. And he says, because this is the time when the sect collects the inner cores of the azure-eyed wandering fish, those monsters naturally become aware of it. So, every time during this period, they are exceptionally alert. And that third man is Wentian sect disciple Li Fang. And he says, that elusive turtle keeps avoiding it. With just 5 of us, how are we supposed to patrol the Tianhe River? And then someone comes to that place, then he says, apologize for coming late. And Fang has come to this place. And he shows his token and he says, this is Team Ihai, right? I'm Xiao Yifeng. I've come to participate in the law enforcement team training. And seeing Fang, Tang Pei says to him, you're Xiao Yifeng? You're a month late. I need an explanation. And Fang tells them, I had just broken through the 7th level of Qi training and was still in retreat when I received the summons. So it was delayed for a while. After listening to Fang, Li Feng tells him, oh, trying to add some glamour, huh? You're just in the training stage, not the foundation establishment. Who goes into seclusion for a whole month at this level? If you're afraid, just admit it. Do you think others are fools? Looks like the Wuya Palace really produces these elusive turtles. And as soon as Fang listens to Li Feng's words, he gets very angry. And he directly attacks Li Feng. Due to which Li Feng goes away and hits the wall, and Fang moves forward very fast to attack him. And seeing this, Li Feng gets very nervous, and at the same time, Lin Mi and her other man at that place also get surprised. And Feng's stomach is about to hit Li Feng. But then Tang Pei stops Feng from digesting, and he says to him, Xiao Yifeng, harming fellow disciples, aren't you afraid of violating sect rules? And hearing this Feng says, so do you know about the sect rules? Were you deaf when he insulted my sect just now? Then Lin Mi comes forward and says, alright, calm down. Let's all be more composed. We're all from the same sect, there's no need to harm our harmony. And Feng says, that makes sense, Senior Brother Li. I'm not very good at talking. If I offend you next time, please don't mind. And Li Feng says, I remember you. And Tang Pei says, okay, now that Xiao Yifeng has arrived, let's divide into groups of 6 this time. There are a total of 4 tributaries of the Tianhe River that need inspection. Naturally, we will also be divided into 4 groups. Xu Ming and Lin Mi, you two will be a group. Li Fang, you and Ling Sisi are in a group. Xiao Yifeng, it seems like your strength is quite impressive. How about we each form a separate group? Is that okay with you? And Feng also agrees for this. But then a girl says, I object. And this girl is Ling Sisi, a core disciple of Wentian Sect. And she says, I want to be in a group with senior brother Xiao. And hearing this, Li Feng says to Ling Sisi, junior sister. Just now, I was suddenly approached, and didn't have time to unleash my spells. So Ling Sisi says, I know, although senior brother Li doesn't look good and isn't skilled in close combat, as long as he's prepared, he's still quite powerful. And after hearing this, Li Feng doesn't know what to say. Then Tang Pei says, understood, since it's junior sister's preference, you'll be teamed up with Xiao Yifeng. And Ling Sisi is happy to hear this. Then Tang Pei says, let's set out together then. And now all of them leave for their work. And after some time we see both Feng and Ling Sisi are going together. And Feng is saying to Ling Sisi, why did senior sister Ling choose to team up with me? So Ling Sisi says, senior brother Li is really too ugly. I want to find someone pleasing to the eye. And hearing this, Feng is thinking, this junior sister's mouth looks like it's been covered with honey. Then Ling Sisi further says, although I heard that you are the most mediocre disciple in talent among the true disciples in recent years. I hope you won't be offended by my words, right? And Feng gets a little shocked after hearing this, and he is thinking, having lived this long without being beaten to death, it seems this woman is quite extraordinary. And Feng tells us about Ling Sisi, and he says, Ling Sisi, possessing exceptional talent, was born with the water attribute spiritual root and is a direct disciple of the Confucian Hall. Due to her sweet appearance and gentle personality, she is deeply liked by her senior brothers. At least until she opens her mouth. Master, senior brothers, welcome back. Did you fail to confess to senior sister again? Is this the 15th time? Does it mean senior sister isn't interested in you? Junior sister. Stop talking. Master, why is your hair thinning more and more? Is it because of old age? And Ling Sisi is saying in the present, as a result, when the enforcement team training started this year, Master and senior brothers happily sent me away in a hurry. Humph. Not a trace of reluctance was shown. And Feng says, well, cough, indeed, it's a bit much. Isn't it just being straightforward in speech? How could they treat you like this? And Ling Sisi says, exactly. Although my master said I should improve my composure a bit when encountering demonic beasts. It's not a big issue after all. And Feng says, not calm? What do you mean? And while both of them are going, someone is watching them. And Feng notices this thing and a huge frog appears in front of Feng. Seeing which Feng says, just a low-level demonic beast, and Feng says to Ling Sisi, Sisi, junior martial sister? But Ling Sisi is not saying anything, but then she shouts very loudly, there's a demonic beast. And Feng gets shocked after hearing this. And Ling Sisi screams very loudly, due to which Feng tries to cover his ears. And Ling Sisi moves her hands vigorously and starts attacking here and there. And she is saying, go to hell, go to hell, go to hell. And Feng is very shocked to see such actions of Ling Sisi, and he is avoiding Ling Sisi's attacks, and he is saying, oops. Stay calm. You hit the wrong person. But Ling Sisi is not listening to anyone, she is just saying, monster. Must die. And Ling Sisi is doing many attacks. And then Ling Sisi attacks the frog, due to which the frog falls away. And seeing this, Ling Sisi calms down a bit, then she regains consciousness. And she starts looking around, and she is saying, ah, wow. Senior brother. Where are you? Then Feng comes behind Ling Sisi, and he says to Ling Sisi, I'm here. And Ling Sisi holds Feng's hand, and cryingly tells Feng, I got scared by the monster again. Indeed, monsters are really frightening. But Feng tells Ling Sisi, are you sure it's you who got scared by it? And Feng is thinking, however, this fellow may be timid, but it can easily cast such large-scale area spells. Then Ling Cece tells Feng, the demonic beast is truly frightening. And hearing this, Feng is thinking, using this girl's offensive abilities against a single target feels like a waste. And Feng smilingly says to Ling Cece, well, junior sister, on the way, we hardly encountered any demonic beasts. And Ling Cece becomes happy after hearing this. Then after this we see some turtles, which surrounds both of them. And Feng is saying, oh no. It seems like we've stumbled into a den of demonic beasts. But Ling Cece gets scared again after seeing those turtles. And she starts using her power again, due to which all those she touches are killed. And after some time, some snakes come to that place, seeing which Ling Cece gets more scared. And she uses her power, due to which she kills many snakes. Then Feng takes out the spiritual stone from those snakes. And placing it on his hand, he says to Ling Cece, I have to say, this efficiency is really impressive. At this rate, the patrol should be completed very soon. This is the correct way for junior sister to use it. And Ling Cece says, senior brother, where exactly is that safe place you mentioned? And Feng says, don't worry, we'll be there soon. Just hold on a little longer. And then Feng notices something in the water and he says, huh? Are there still some fish slipping through the net? And we see, some movement starts happening in that water. And seeing her, Feng catches Ling Cece and starts running away from that place. And then a huge explosion occurs at that place. And as soon as both of them look in front, they become very surprised, because there is a huge beast at that place, and this beast is Foundation Establishment Stage Demonic Beast, Skynetting Crocodile. And Feng is very shocked to see that beast, and he says, Foundation Building Stage. And Ling Cece says nervously, how come there are foundation building monsters here? What should we do? And Feng starts running away with Ling Cece, and he says, retreat, there's no need to engage in a direct confrontation with this guy. Let's go back and seek reinforcements. But how could that crocodile let both of them escape so easily? He uses his power, due to which he creates a water tornado above the water, in which Feng gets trapped. But he pushes Ling Cece away, due to which Ling Cece gets saved. And Ling Cece gets very scared after seeing Feng trapped in the water storm. But Feng asks Ling Cece to leave this place. Then the crocodile starts pulling Feng inside its mouth, seeing which Feng takes out the talisman from him and uses it, due to which there is a huge explosion at that place. And Feng now starts running away from that place, and he is saying, fortunately, senior brothers and sisters provided a lot of treasures, used a bunch of talismans to blast open this water vortex. But we see that Ling Cece is trapped in the crocodile attack. And that crocodile is pulling Ling Cece inside its mouth, and seeing this, Feng takes out another talisman from him, and he says, it's really troublesome. And Feng throws that talisman in a direction. Then now both of them start going inside the stomach of that crocodile. And Ling Cece is surprised to see Feng near her. Then the crocodile took both of them in his jaws. Then that crocodile now goes inside the water. And after some time we see that Ling Cece is regaining consciousness. And she looks around, and she is very surprised. Where is she? Then Feng says to Ling Cece, have you finally woken up? As you can see, we are currently inside that creature's stomach, and all around us is its stomach acid. And Ling Cece says, senior brother, what should we do? So Feng tells him, the first thing we need to do. Well, junior sister, do you want to change into a different set of clothes first? And hearing this, Ling Cece starts saying, I didn't bring any other clothes. So Feng tells him, use mine for now. We'll figure things out once we get out. And Ling Cece asks Feng, but how do we get out? So Feng tells me, I've already contacted reinforcements. This formation can protect us from stomach acid erosion. Now, we just need to wait for an opportunity. And Ling Cece says, speaking of which, what kind of formation is this? It's so powerful. So Feng says, my master gave it to me. You're also a direct disciple. Didn't your master provide you with any life-saving stuff? And Ling Cece remains silent, and seeing her sad, Feng tells her, I'm sorry, I misspoke. On the other hand, we see that Lin Mi and her companion are coming very fast to find Feng and Ling Sisi. And Lin Mi is saying, the signal for reinforcements was just sent from here with this talisman. So Zhu Ming says, Senior Sister, there's a strong spiritual energy fluctuation here. There must have been a major battle just now. We need to be careful. It is best not to alert the snake in the grass. But then Lin Mi prepares a dangerous fire attack, seeing which Zhu Ming gets very surprised. And Lin Mi has made her attack above water, due to which a huge explosion occurs at that place. But Lin Mi attacks the crocodile directly, due to which a scream comes out of the crocodile's mouth. And Ling Sisi and Feng can also feel this. And Ling Sisi is saying, Wow, senior brother! Shocked. So Feng said to Ling Sisi, Don't panic, it seems someone is coming from outside and alerted this guy. And hearing this, Ling Sisi becomes happy and she says, Is somebody coming? It his senior fellow who apprenticed with him. And Feng says, Probably, doubt it's just that the noise is a bit loud. Junior Sister Ling, come closer to me. This guy seems to be angry. Then Zhu Ming tells Lin Mi, Senior Sister, what are you doing? And Lin Mi says, Don't worry, there are two of us, what can happen? Then suddenly that crocodile appears in front of both of them, and seeing him Zhu Ming says, It's a foundation building stage monster. And the crocodile moves forward to attack both of them, and seeing him Zhu Ming says, He's coming, be careful. But then the crocodile starts having stomach pain, due to which he is unable to attack, and falls back into the water. And seeing this Zhu Ming says, Is there someone outside? It's junior brother Zhao's voice. Are you in the monster's belly? And Feng is using his power, and telling both of them, Junior Sister Ling and I are both here, so we'll be fine for now. Only we may need your help to create an opportunity for us to come out. I will assist you by interrupting its spell casting while inside it. And hearing this, Lin Mi says, Now. Zhu Ming. And Zhu Ming says, Yes. Then both of them together attack the crocodile. And they injure that crocodile very much. And seeing this, the crocodile becomes even more angry. So now both of them together do a combination attack on the crocodile, due to which a huge explosion occurs. And after this, Zhu Ming says, Did you win? But that crocodile is not defeated yet. And the crocodile attacked both of them with its tail. But then he uses two swords and stops the crocodile's attack. And Li Fang and Tang Pei come to that place. And seeing them, Zhu Ming says, It's the captain and vice captain. Then Tang Pei says to Zhu Ming, How could you provoke such a beast? So Zhu Ming tells, Captain, junior brother Xiao and junior sister Ling were all swallowed by this monster. We need our cooperation to come out. And hearing this, Li Fang gets angry and says, Nonsense. This is a monster in the foundation building stage. Xiao Yifeng is a waste. You can't even protect a woman with all your strength. Then Tang Pei says, Prepare to form a formation. And Li Feng is surprised to hear this and he says, Captain, do you really believe what they say? And Tang Pei says, It's too late to go to the rescue now, you have to try. Don't forget, Ling Sisi is still inside. And hearing this, Li Feng is saying, It's all that Xiao Yifeng's fault. Then all four of them together start forming a formation over the crocodile. And they are saying, Lin Mi, Xiaoyin, 33, Zhu Ming, Xiaoyang, Li Cube. And Tang Pei is saying, I know I am responsible for Taiyin. Xiao Yifeng, if you have any way to get out of trouble, it's best to do it now. And Feng says, The four symbols formation is pretty good. Junior Sister Ling, I need you to do me a favor. And Ling Sisi says, What are you busy with? So Feng says, Come on, give me your hand. I need to borrow your spiritual power. And Ling Sisi says, However, I have water attribute spiritual power, so I cannot help you support this formation. And Feng says smilingly, This is what I want. On the other hand, we see that all four of them together have created a huge formation over that crocodile, the formation of the four symbols. Kill. And Feng is using one of his techniques inside the stomach of that crocodile, and he is saying, Water and fire are incompatible. But one day I met someone. And Feng would have activated that formation. Due to which there is a blast inside that crocodile, and there is a blast outside also. And after this we see that crocodile. And at the same time those 4 people come to that place. And Zhu Ming is saying after seeing that crocodile, is this guy dead? And Lin Mi says, where are junior brother Xiao and junior sister Ling? And Tang Pei senses both of them and he says, over there. And Feng comes out with Ling Sisi, and then when Li Feng sees Ling Sisi in Feng's lap, he shouts, Ling junior sister. Why? Are you wearing his clothes? And embracing him like this? And Ling Sisi is saying, senior brother Xiao, please put me down quickly. But Li Feng is getting very angry. Then Ling Sisi tells them, it's not what you think. My clothes were torn by a demonic beast, so brother Xiao helped me. And Lin Mi goes to Feng and says to him, hey, not bad, junior brother. Do you want me to give you some assistance? But Feng says, no need, no need. I want to focus on cultivation for now. Then Lin Mi says, TSK. Turns out you're still a wooden fish head. And hearing this, Ling Sisi is getting angry, and we see Li Feng, the one who is getting very angry and is saying, isn't it just a demonic beast? And Li Feng goes to that crocodile and he says, if I had arrived earlier, I could have handled it too. It's all your fault, and Li Feng kicks the crocodile, due to which the crocodile wakes up. Seeing which Xu Ming gets scared and says, be careful, the demonic beast isn't dead yet. And that crocodile is releasing energy from within itself, and Tang Pei is saying after seeing this, not good. This demonic beast is going to self-destruct everyone. Come to my location immediately, set up defensive formations, and Lin Mi says, at such a close distance. Even with protective defenses it's... But then Feng moves forward to attack the crocodile. And takes out his token, and attacks the crocodile's eye with that token. Due to which that crocodile gets blasted at that place. And that crocodile is killed. And seeing this, Xu Ming is saying, is this the power of a Foundation establishment stage demonic beast? And Ling Sisi says, doesn't seem formidable, does it? Then Lin Mi says, it's Xiao Yifeng who triggered the Sect's internal token magical device, causing the demonic beast self-destruct to fail without building up enough power. This decisiveness is truly terrifying. And hearing Feng's praise, Li Feng is getting very angry, and he shouts, Xiao Yifeng, you've willfully damaged the Sect's magical weapon and disobeyed orders. I will report this to the elder. Seeing Li Feng shouting at Feng, Lin Mi says, really shameless. And Tang Pei says to Li Feng, oh? Please go ahead. And Li Feng is about to say something else, but Tang Pei stops him and he says, everyone, there's a Foundation establishment demonic beast appearing in the Tianhe sector. This is highly unusual, we must immediately report back to the sect. Then suddenly blood starts coming out of Feng's mouth, and seeing this Ling Sisi says to Feng, senior brother, what's wrong with you? And Feng tells Ling Sisi, it's nothing, I just suffered some injuries a moment ago. And Li Feng is happy to see Feng's bad condition, and he is saying, you're not that strong either, serving you right for pretending. Then Feng tells them, let's go, don't delay any longer, and we see that Feng's hand is also bleeding. And after this they all come to another place. And all 4 of them are waiting for Feng and Tang Pei. And Ling Sisi is saying, why hasn't he come out yet? Senior sister Lin, will the elders really make things difficult for senior brother Xiao? Should I go in and explain? So Lin Mi says, don't worry, elders are not fools. But Li Feng is very angry, and he is saying, destroying the Sect's token, acting against orders, and nearly causing a major disaster. He has violated several Sect rules at least. Elders wouldn't easily forgive such actions. Then Lin Mi says to Li Feng, do you think elders are as narrow-minded as you? And Li Feng gets angry, but he doesn't say anything. After this Xu Ming says, they've come out. Then Tang Pei and Feng come out, and Xu Ming is asking, how did it go? And Lin Mi says, has the elder given you any trouble? And Tang Pei tells them, junior brother Xiao gained the appreciation of the elders. Not only were there no reprimands, but he also received considerable praise. Truly deserving as a direct disciple. Then Feng tells them, certainly, it's just that the elders have a discernment judgment, and won't base their decisions solely on one side of the story. And Lin Mi tells Feng, glad to hear things worked out. Hee, should I join you for a drink? Junior sister Ling will be there too, right? And Feng says, let's do this next time. I have some urgent matters to attend to as well. Sorry, senior sister. And Feng leaves that place. And Lin Mi seeing Feng leaving says, seems like this person lacks manners. What do you think, junior sister? But Ling Cece says, perhaps he has other matters on his mind. And after some time, Feng comes to another place. And blood is coming out of his mouth, and he is saying, Jianxian, if you had just killed someone, it would have caused a big disaster. And then the sword inside him says, oh, I'm just hungry. Coincidentally, that sneaky-looking fellow caught my eye, and I thought of settling things for you. I didn't expect that you would rather use your own essence to feed me than let me kill him. You do have a soft heart after all. And Feng tells him, you'd better put away the style of the demonic sect. Here, you can't casually kill fellow disciples, at least not in broad daylight. And that sword says, your so-called righteous disciples. They're just hypocritical, but well, I couldn't help but take a few more sips of yours essence just now, and you ended up getting hurt. Quite a messy situation, isn't it? How about I just drain you completely? Once you're dead, there won't be any more pain. And Feng sits on the ground, and he says, just squeezing me dry like this, wouldn't that be a one-sided deal, akin to killing the goose that lays the golden eggs? I have a better plan. Would you like to hear it? And hearing this she says, sword, oh? Just to make it clear, I won't let go of your body. And Feng says, how about you make a contract with me instead? So that sword says, don't dream. Then Feng says, listen to me, I can address you as master. In the future, I'll be your sword's servant. Whenever you feel like devouring me, I'll be at yours disposal. Still not interested? Well, never mind then. Hearing Feng's words, she says to the sword, wait, who said I'm not interested anymore? And Feng says, oh? So you agree? And that sword says, I'm just curious if you have any conspiracy plans. Then Feng says, what conspiracy could I have you? I'm just a chi refining cultivator, struggling with even foundation establishment beasts. Who wouldn't want to find a backing? I just thought that in the future, if I cling to your thigh and encounter danger, you'd protect me. As form, I'd wholeheartedly serve you, diligently being your furnace. And hearing this the sword happily says, well, since you put it that way, I agree. Without further ado, let's start the contracti. This is the contract rune. Use your blood to inscribe it, and in yours mind, chant your name as the magical incantation. After signing the contract, your every move must obey my thoughts, otherwise you will definitely be counterattacked by the runes, and your life will be worse than death. You better not entertain any notions of luck even if you regret it now. I won't allow any changes. Then Feng says, don't worry, this is the moment I've been waiting for. And now Feng gets ready to make a contract with that sword. And he uses his blood, and seeing this the sword is saying, this will make me a lot of profit now. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He has so much spiritual power. Moreover, no one knows how he cultivates either following the righteous path, nor delving into evil path, nor embracing Buddhism. His spiritual energy is entirely of the purest essence. Someone like this will be my command from now on. And then Feng starts doing something, seeing which the sword gets surprised, and she says, no, wait. Hey, what kind of rune are you engraved on this? And Feng says, the rune of recognition, you told me personally. And that sword tells Feng to stop, but Feng does not stop. He is speaking. During the process of recognizing its master, the sword automatically generates a barrier to avoid external interference. This is the will of the sword itself. As a sword spirit, it is only natural for you to obey this. And hearing this the sword is surprised, and she says, the sword's self-protection. This is the true master recognition rune. How is this possibility? No one else but myself can know my natal rune. But then something happens to the sword, which Feng is shocked to see. And he doesn't understand anything? But then the sword starts laughing, and she says to Feng, I knew it. Your meager amount of blood could never satisfy the demon-slaying sword. Stop immediately. And hearing this Feng says, I see. It's just a mere drop of essence blood after all. And Fang uses his blood, and starts giving a lot of his blood to that sword. And seeing this, the sword becomes very shocking. And she is saying, Are you insane? That sword absorbs your vital essence. Do you really want to die? And Fang says to him, if I can't even pass this hurdle, what's the point of talking about salvaging anything? Then Fang starts donating too much of his blood, due to which Fang is suffering a lot. And a lot of energy is coming out from inside it. And Fang is very tired now. So he falls on the ground, and he becomes unconscious. Then that sword comes to Fang, and looking at Fang she says, My natal ruin, if not voluntary, it would be impossible for others to know. But why do I have no recollection of this memory at all? You have no idea at this time. If I end up being swallowed by the runes, I may not have a chance to break free from this contract. Bastard, what happened to you and me before? Then after this we see Fang's future, and in the future that sword is in Fang's hands. And she is saying to Fang, Xiao Yifeng, there's no guarantee you'll survive this journey. Do you have any last wishes? I might consider helping you fulfill them? And Fang says to that sword, Zhan Xian, you've been proving to truth acknowledge me as your master. If I don't die in this battle, how about you recognize me as yours master instead? And that sword says, it's rare for this generation's demon king to still have the heart to joke at this time. But I do enjoy this bet. This is my natal rune. If you really survive, well, it's not impossible to give you a chance. Unfortunately, that would have to wait for the next lifetime. This part begins. And a few days pass. And now they all happen in Tianqing Fang City. Then we see Ling Sisi and Li Feng. And Ling Sisi is saying, Is this the city that Wentian's sect and Qishan's sect managed together? This is the first time I've come here. And Li Feng says, Hee, I'm quite familiar with this place. If Junior sister is interested, I can tour you around. But Ling Sisi leaves Li Feng and goes to Feng, and says to him, Brother Xiao, let's go shopping together later. And Feng tells Ling Sisi, not interested in. Then Tang Pei is saying, this mission involves jointly guarding Tianqing Fang City with the Qingshan sect. Everyone, make sure not to bring shame to our sect. And then a man says to Tang Pei, Yo, Captain Tang, is everyone here? And Tang Pei says to that man, Li Steward, this is the disciple my sect has assigned for this shift. Thank you for your assistance. And Li Steward says, look at what you're saying. I can't trust disciples from your sect. Then Lin Mi says, please pay attention, everyone. Although the Qishan sect is a small sect, they have been our allies, so try not to damage our relationship with them. And Li Steward laughs and says, so, from now on, I'll need everyone to follow my arrangements. Rest assured, I won't mistreat any of you. Person, head to the North Street. There's a good assignment waiting for you there. And Tang Pei turns back and says to Zhu Ming, come with me. And Xu Ming says yes. And both of them leave that place. Then Li Steward told Lin Mi about the last street. The people there are all one works well to avoid any conflicts. And Lin Mi is taking Ling Sisi with her, and she is saying, don't worry, there's no need to concern yourself about him. I'll take good care of you this time. But looking at Ling Sisi, it seems that she does not want to leave Feng. Then Li Steward says to Feng this. Please go to South Street. And after listening to Li Steward, Feng says, why am I going alone there? So Li Steward tells him, you see, there are 4 blocks in the market, but there are 6 of you. There's always someone who ends up alone. And Feng turns back then he says, okay, South Street, right? I understand. And Li Feng laughs and says, hee, second uncle, thanks a lot. I'll be sure to speak highly of you in front of the master later. And Li Steward says to Li Feng, hey, your matters are mine too, you can rest assured. The South Street is the most troubled street, even 10 people are not enough to handle it. I've specifically arranged troublemakers for him, he surely won't be able to complete your shifts. Let's go, accompany your second link to the West Street for some flower wine. There are a few girls over there, quite lively. And Li Feng says, thank you, Uncle Hee. And Feng is watching both of them secretly, and has heard everything they say. Then after this we see, Jiangning Fang City South Street. And at this place Feng has climbed on the roof, and he is saying, "Everyone, I am a rotating disciple sent by the Wentian sect, responsible for maintaining order here." And after listening to Feng, a man says, "Special grandmas?" Another one comes, and it's a fledgling cultivating chi? Another man says, "How many days did the previous one persist? Did they end up going back to the master in tears?" A girl says, "I don't know if I've played with this before." And a man is saying, "Remember, Stewardly said to listen, that no matter what he says later, the brothers should make a commotion and disrupt his plans." Then Feng says, "So, next, I'm going to announce my management rules." And Feng shouts, "First, starting from today, the tax on South Street will be reduced to 10% of the original level. No one is allowed to pay more." And as soon as people hear this, they all become surprised. And Feng is saying further, "Second, in the area under my responsibility, we emphasize freedom and informality. The sale of goods are unrestricted, and there are no inspections, regardless of the source. I don't care if what you have is black market or legitimate goods. Sell them however you want. Anyone who mentions word order in front of me is asking for trouble. Third, I have only one. Everyone is forbidden to break it. That is, no one is allowed to hinder everyone's prosperity. Consequences: death. Now anyone who objects can speak out. But no one says anything, everyone is happy with Feng's words. Then a man is saying, "Brother, are we still opposing this?" So his partner slaps him, then he says, "If you oppose it, you are a hammer. You will die." Then Feng says, "So, I declare the opening of the market on South Street in the Taiyanging district." And the next day we see a man holding something, and he is saying, "Damn. It's not easy to handle this thing. Everyone keeps asking about its origin. I heard South Street isn't a good place. If other places weren't closed, I wouldn't need to rely on luck coming here." And then someone places his hand on that man's shoulder. And when the man looks back, some people come together and cover him with a black cloth. And they take him away with them. And after some time, the man is brought to another place. And his face is covered with black cloth. The black cloth covering the man is then removed. And when the man looks around, he is surprised. But he is very angry, and he is saying, "What are you doing? Believe me or not." But when that man sees that there are very powerful people around him, he is surrounded by them, then he becomes very disturbed. Then he gets on his knees and says to them, "I'm kneeling on the ground." And when he looks ahead, Feng is sitting on a throne in front of him. And he is saying, "How much for the goods on you? I'll purchase it." And the man is surprised to hear this, and he says, 500, no. 400. But Feng plays a prank, due to which the man gets nervous. And he says, 300. This thing of mine has no money. Just let me go. Then Feng throws a bag full of money in front of the man. And he says, 500 spirits you wanna? Then the man takes the bag full of money. And Feng tells him, "Tell the brothers on your path that if you have anything to deal with in the future, just find me. As long as you say you're looking for Feng, the brother from Nan Street, I'll take anything you've got." And after listening to Feng, the man says, Yes. I have excellent connections. I'll make sure to bring it to you." Then Feng asks him to leave. And he starts running away from this place very fast. But he thanks Feng while leaving. And then a few weeks pass. And we see that some people are talking. And a man is saying, "Is this the place Lao Jin was talking about?" And the other man says, "It doesn't look like it." Then the man goes near a shop, then he says, "Hello. Is there any better product here?" And hearing this the man says the password. Then the man says, "Ah. Right. We're here to find Feng, the brother from Nan Street." Then the man takes out the talisman, then he says, "Here are some ideas, open the door." And the man opens the door. Then he asks to go inside. And all those people are very surprised to see all these things. And then a month passes, and we see West Street Flower House. And we see Lee Stewart, who is getting a massage. And a man comes to Lee Stewart, and he is saying, "The disciples of the Wentian sect from North Street and East Street have already completed their trial." And Li Fang is saying, How is the situation on South Street? So the man says, it's in a chaotic state. Completely unmanaged. Recently, we also received reports that someone is selling various unidentified items over there. And Lee Stewart said to Li Fang, haha. Heard it, nephew. That guy is definitely not getting through the trial this time. And Li Fang says, thanks, second uncle. Let's see how he handles it this time. Then both of them start leaving, and Lee Stewart is saying, let's go. It's the perfect time to gather your fellow disciples and witness that kid's miserable situation together. After this we see South Street Market. And Tang Pei and his team are leaving from this place. And those people are a little surprised to see this place. And Tang Pei is saying, it's even more chaotic than an ordinary market. Where is the person in charge here? Xiao Yifeng. Come out. And then Fang comes on the call of Tang Pei. And he says, I wondered who it was. Turns out, Captain Tang and Guan Li. Everyone come to South Street. Is there anything you need? Then Li Fang says, why do you bring so many people? And Fang says, I am discussing with the com bosses about renovating this place. So naturally we came over together. Do you have any questions? And Lee Stewart says, ahem, we heard that Nanjifang's city is very irregular. Not only does it pay insufficient taxes, but there are also some illegal things circulating. Xiao Yifeng, as you are supervising this place, why don't you deal with it? And Fang says, managerly, why can't I understand what you are talking about? Everyone, have you ever made any illegal transactions? And after listening to Fang's words, they start whispering among themselves, and they all start saying, we are the most obedient. Obey the law. We are the best behaved. And after listening to his words, Fang says, look. No, Manager G, be careful, I'll sue you for filth. And after listening to Fang, Lee Stewart says, you are actually with these cheerleader Tao. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing your master? But then someone says, none of your business. And hearing this, Lee Stewart says, who is saying bad things behind your back? Stand up if you can. And then someone attacks Lee Stewart with a sword, seeing which Lee Stewart becomes very surprised. And he stops that attack. But he backs off, and Tang Pei says to Lee Stewart, are you okay, managerly? And Lee Stewart is saying, who? How dare you mess with my Qinshan sect? Get out. And the one who attacks Lee Stewart is Making, and she is saying, what happened if I messed with you? And Fang is very surprised to see Making, and he is thinking, why is Su Miaoqing here? And Lee Stewart says to Making, who are you and why do you intentionally hurt others? So in response Making says, haha. I'm just a passerby, and I can't bear to see you bullying handsome guys, so I decided to fight against the injustice. And after listening to Making, a man says, this girl has great vision. Then Lee Stewart says angrily, where did you come from, you nymphomaniac? Today I am here to teach you a lesson. And he moves forward very quickly to attack Making. But Making stops Lee Stewart's attack by creating a seal. And Tang Pei is surprised to see this, and Making is saying, silly motionless. Any effort? And Lee Stewart is surprised to see Making's power, and he is saying, not good. Is it the best spiritual weapon? And Making prepares a dangerous attack, seeing which sweat starts falling from Fang's forehead. And he is saying, oops. This girl is too harsh. And Making has launched her dangerous attack on Lee Stewart. And seeing that attack, Lee Stewart is saying, it's over now. And Making's attack is about to hit Lee Stewart. And when Lee Stewart looks in front, he gets surprised and he says, I'm not dead. And an elder appears in front of Lee Stewart, and he would have stopped Making's attack. And Lee Stewart is surprised to see that elder. Then that elder is saying, the female benefactor, at such a young age, could be so vicious? Then Lee Stewart looks at that elder and says, elder. She suddenly hurt someone, you have to teach her a lesson. And the elder turns back, and says to Lee Stewart, waste. You can't even deal with a girl. Go back and think about your mistakes behind closed doors. And Lee Stewart gets scared after listening to the elder's words. Then he says to Elder Rena, girl, you hurt my sect, I advise you to follow me back to your sect and be punished, otherwise. And then Fang says, otherwise, what do you want to do to my disciples? And as soon as he listens to Elder Fang, he gets angry. Then Fang goes to Making, and he says, Senior sister, why are you here? So Mei-King says, didn't I break through the foundation building, so I came to see you. Who would have thought that someone would bully you? And Feng says, wow, sister's foundation building was successful. Congratulations to the teacher. And Mei-King says, hey. That is, I am your senior sister. And after listening to both of them, the elder is thinking, building a foundation at such a young age? Is this girl asking a high-ranking disciple of Tianzong? But she hurt people first. Even if her master came to find her, it would be my job to do it. It's just a good time to get some benefits. Then the elder says to both of them, you too. Since you are a disciple of the Wentian sect, you should not hurt the disciples of our sect. Qinshan sect and Wentian sect have always been on good terms. I must explain this matter to your sect. And Feng says to Mei-King, Senior sister, you did take a bit too hard just now. And Mei-King says, spells, I can't quite control them yet. Then Feng says, you are right, we have gone too far in this matter, and we are indeed wrong. And Li Stewart says smilingly, weren't you quite capable just now? And Ling Cece is getting worried for Feng. And Li Feng is smiling, and he is thinking, now let me see how you explain to the teacher. Then Feng tells them, let's do this. For your sake, I won't pursue the things that made things difficult for me before you sent your disciples. And hearing this, the elder gets very angry and says, bold. How dare you tease me? It seems that you are drinking wine as a penalty for not eating the toast. Today I will teach you a lesson on behalf of your master. And that elder is about to use some kind of power, and Mei-King is saying to Feng, junior brother, don't be afraid, watch me shake people. Why? I can't move? And Feng says, how come I'm not affected? Could it be that elder? And he says to Elder Feng, what magic tricks did you use? Why can't I move? Feng also gets confused and says still. And then snow starts falling from the sky, seeing which people start saying, what's going on? Why did it suddenly snow under the blue sky? I can't move, what's going on? And that elder is looking up and saying, I wonder, which senior is coming? I am Sui Xian, the elder of the outer sect of Qishan sect. And then Guan Han comes to that place, and she says, who did you want to teach him just now? And when he sees Elder Guan Han, he becomes very nervous, sweat starts falling from his forehead. And he is not even able to say anything. Then Guan Han comes down and she says, I needed some special materials recently, so I asked Xiao Yifeng to help me pay attention to them. I wonder which rule he broke. Tell me, let me hear it. And after listening to Guan Han's words, the elder says, haha. Senior is joking. Young Master Xiao. He didn't break any rules. And Guan Han goes to Feng. And Feng gets confused seeing Guan Han coming near him. Then Guan Han gives the jade pendant to Feng, then she says, since he didn't break any rules, you should know how to deal with it. Then she disappears from that place. Seeing which everyone gets surprised, and Feng is saying after looking at that jade pendant, throat, this guy. Then Mei-King tells Feng junior brother, Senior Guan Han, she. And Feng says, don't think too much, it's just that I helped her before. By the way, the elder Luo of Qishan sect. And when Feng looks back, he gets shocked, because the elder is beating Li Stewart. And Li Stewart is saying to the elder, Elder, I don't know anything, elder. But the elder does not listen to anything Li Stewart says. And he is beating Li Stewart a lot. Then he says, bastard, I was almost killed by you. Then the elder says to Feng smilingly, Mr. Xiao, look, have I beaten you enough? And Feng asks elder to continue. And on hearing this, the elder starts beating Li Stewart very badly. Then Mei-King tells Feng, junior brother, is this okay with you? So Feng says laughingly, it's just for me to watch. He knows better than me how to act. Okay, senior sister, you've seen the excitement, is it time to go back? If what happened today is reported back, and Mei-King says, oops, I know, don't tell Master and Mrs. What happened today? And Mei-King leaves from that place. Then Feng says to Tang Pei, sorry. As you can see, I'm a little busy. And Tang Pei says, junior brother. We had many misunderstandings before, I hope you don't mind. So Feng says, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. The master of the palace asked me not to spread the word, keep a low profile. And Tang Pei says, understand. I will take care of today's matters so I won't bother you. And Lin Mi is saying to Ling Cece, junior sister, the competition is too strong, why don't we consider something else? You have no chance to fight with the lord of Guan Han Palace. And Ling Cece says, I didn't mean that. But Lin Mi is saying, oh? Then what do you mean when you looked at someone directly just now? And hearing this, Ling Cece is unable to say anything. And we see Li Feng, who is getting very angry after listening to Fang's praises. And he is saying, Xiao Yifeng, don't think that you can always be stable by doing things for the palace master. When the trial is over, I will make you lose face, and after this a few days also pass. Then we are told this, due to Lu Hanyan's intervention, the subsequent trials became extremely smooth. Then we see a man, who is going somewhere flying in a sword. And then he hears some sound, hey, that flying disciple in front. Then the man looks back and sees some disciples carrying a sword. And those people are saying, the assigned tasks have also become extremely simple. If you exceed the speed limit, you will be fined 20 spiritual stones. Then we see Feng looking at the spiritual stone and saying, the recent trials are no longer challenging, so forget it, let's continue practicing. And after this, soon, the end of the trial came. And the disciples are saying, disciples welcome the sect master and all the palace masters. Then we see the sect master, who are speaking, everyone get up. Today is the end of Wentian's sect's annual disciple training. After today, you can take on your own role and go down the mountain to practice on behalf of your sect. And Feng is saying, finally broke through to the 9th floor. After this time, it's best to go down the mountain. Xiao Yifeng practices the 9th level of Qi training. According to the rules, today, every disciple can choose one person to cut. Of course, don't be too harsh. Between the same sect, you can't do anything. Don't hurt peaceful. And the sect master is saying, I wonder, which disciple is willing to step forward? And then Li Feng comes forward and he says, Sect master, this disciple wants to challenge someone. Then the sect master says, oh? Yes, you actually succeeded in building the foundation. I wonder who you want to challenge? And Li Feng gives an evil look. And he takes the name of Feng. And on hearing Li Feng's words, the master gets angry and says, how can a foundation establishment realm disciple challenge a Qi refinement realm disciple? Isn't this a case of the strong bullying the weak? But the sect leader says, haha. Junior brother, don't be that anxious, you have the right to refuse this kind of challenge, have you forgotten? And the master says, You just want to make a joke of my temple. But then Xiao Yifeng says that I am ready to fight with him. And as soon as they hear this, they get surprised, and the sect leader also asks once, do you really want to fight? So in response Xiao Yifeng says, the world is so big, how can I always encounter enemies of the same level? It just so happens that this disciple also wants to experience the difference between the Qi refinement realm and the foundation establishment realm. How could I miss this opportunity to gain experience? I have to thank Brother Li for giving me this opportunity. But the master says, what kind of reasoning is that, this kid? And the sect leader says, he's quite young, yet he dares to be so presumptuous. And Han Yan says, I'm quite optimistic about him. I'm betting this top-grade treasure on Xiao Yifeng winning this match. Do you want to bet on it? Then the sect leader says, I soul pearl? What a good thing. My junior sister Guan Han, don't go back on your word. This is an extermination talisman that took me several months to refine. If Xiao Yifeng really wins, this talisman will be yours. And Han Yan says, okay then let's see what happens. Then Xiao Yifeng says, so, apart from not being allowed to use deadly strikes, there are no other restrictions, do you have any objections? So Li Feng says, don't worry, I promise I won't kill him. And he thinks, I've broken through the foundation establishment realm, and I already got a way to restrain him. Then the challenge begins. And Li Feng attacks first, and seeing this the master is surprised and he says, huh? He pulled away? And Li Feng thinks, this guy is very strong in close combat, and I specialize in long-range spell attacks. so as long as I keep my distance, huh? What's he doing? And Xiao Yifeng takes out the sword and dangerous spiritual energy starts coming out from inside the sword. Then Xiao Yifeng inserts the sword inside the ground, due to which multiple swords are formed which look very dangerous. Then Xiao Yifeng points out all the swords towards Li Lifeng, due to which all the swords start going towards Li Lifeng. But Li Lifeng is laughing and he says, haha. So that's what this is all about, what an idiot. Then he puts his hand on the ground, due to which a wall is formed which easily stops Xiao Yifeng's sword. And seeing this technique, the sect leader says, the Heavenly Execution Sword Technique. It's the strongest sword technique a Chi Refinement Realm disciple can use, although powerful. It consumes a lot of energy even for disciples in the Foundation Establishment Realm. Their spiritual power can only support them for a few attacks. After this move, Xiao Yifeng will definitely be defeated. Junior sister, seems like your ice soul pearl is going to be mine. But Han Yan says, the results haven't come out yet, there's no need to rush. And Li Lifeng says, haha. It was stupid to start off by throwing such a big attack, let's see how long your inner strength can hold out. When this is over, see how I deal with you. And Xiao Yifeng says, sigh, well then, senior brother Li, my warm-up is about to finish, so you better be prepared for what's coming. And Li Lifeng gets surprised on hearing Xiao Yifeng's words, and he does not know the meaning of Xiao Yifeng's words. Then Xiao Yifeng attacks Li Lifeng again, and Li Lifeng is a little shocked to see this. And we see that Xiao Yifeng's attack starts breaking Li Lifeng's wall and very easily breaks Li Lifeng's wall, and Xiao Yifeng's attack hits Li Lifeng, due to which he gets injured. And Xiao Yifeng has won this challenge very easily. And seeing this, disciple says, just now, did he use the Heavenly Execution Sword Technique? And the other disciple says, how long did he last just now? At least 20 attacks. And hearing this, disciple gets shocked and he says, this? Why? I'm a great cultivator at the Chi Refinement Realm, but I can only last for 3 attacks. And the girls say, how could he last that long? And disciple is very angry, but he can't do anything. Then Han Yan tells the sect master that now she has won. Then the sect master gives the talisman to Han Yan, and Han Yan says, this talisman is indeed good, it can at least severely injure a cultivator in the nascent soul realm. Thanks for your kindness, senior brother, I'll accept it. And the sect master says, ha. It's nothing, junior brother Su, I never thought that this disciple of yours was this strong. You've taken a great advantage of me this time. And the master says, what does it have to do with me? I'm also surprised. Then scenes shift, Wuya Temple. And Xiao Yifeng says, everyone, please take a look. This is the secret of how I used Heavenly Execution Sword Technique for a long period of time. As long as the sword formation of the Heavenly Execution Sword Technique is engraved on the sword in advance and charged with spiritual energy, it can be directly activated when needed. And second senior brother says, so in the beginning, you actually used the spiritual energy you had stored in advance to activate the sword formation, and only later did you start to use your own. That's a very unique idea. And Zhu Yushan says, however, this method is very difficult for others to use, and requires extremely strong perception and control of the spell formation, which isn't something that can be achieved even with high cultivation. And Mistress says, I didn't expect Xiao Feng to have such a talent in this area. Miaoqing. Look at your junior brother, he's obviously not as good as you in cultivation, but he uses his brain. And look at you. You don't know how to learn from others. And Su Miaoqing says, why is it like this again? Then Xiao Yifeng says, Master, there's one more thing I'd like to ask for, please fulfill it. So the master says, speak, since you performed exceptionally well this time. Any request that isn't too excessive, I can agree to. So Xiao Yifeng says, I'd like to go down the mountain and travel alone for a while. And hearing this, Su Miaoqing gets surprised and she comes in front of Xiao Yifeng and says to him, Dada? Why is that? Are you not happy staying at Wuya Temple? And the master says, that's right. Your cultivation level is still too low. If you go out, there will be too many dangers. It's better to change your request. But Xiao Yifeng says, everyone has been very kind to me, but if I don't face challenges, I won't be able to make progress in my cultivation. I want to experience more challenging things so that I can really advance. I hope the master can fulfill my wish. Then Xiao Yifeng comes out and he looks at the sky and says, I finally achieved my goal. Although I'm a bit sorry, but I have some plans, and it's only convenient when I'm alone. But then someone calls Xiao Yifeng's name, which surprises Xiao Yifeng and he starts looking here and there and says, Lu Hanyan's voice? No way. Why is Lu Hanyan here? Did I hear wrong? Huh? What is this? And something starts shining from Xiao Yifeng's chest. Then that thing comes out. It is a jade pendant, and seeing it Xiao Yifeng says, this is the jade pendant Lu Hanyan gave me? And then a spiritual thing starts coming out of the jade pendant, and then a puppet appears in front of Xiao Yifeng, seeing which Xiao Yifeng gets surprised and that puppet tells Xiao Yifeng, go to Flying Snow Temple immediately. And the puppet appears. She looks like a very angry woman, but Xiao Yifeng catches hold of that puppet and looks at it carefully, and tries to understand what it is. Then that puppet says to Xiao Yifeng in an angry voice, How dare you, Xiao Yifeng? How dare you? And Xiao Yifeng says it looks as if it's something that Lu Hanyan has created. I'd better go to the Flying Snow Temple and ask for clarification. After some time, Flying Snow Temple. As soon as Xiao Yifeng was about to enter the temple, someone stops him. Then Xiao Yifeng says to her, Senior sister, I'm here to visit the Master Flying Snow Temple. Can you please inform her? Then the senior sister says, Looking for our temple master? Do you have a token? And Xiao Yifeng says that I don't. And the senior sister says, Junior brother, not everyone who wants to can meet our temple master, so if you don't have a token, please go back. Then Xiao Yifeng starts leaving and says, Then, I'm sorry to bother you. And while leaving, Xiao Yifeng thinks, That's strange, wasn't she the one who was asking for me? But then a girl comes running and asks Xiao Yifeng to stop and she says, Junior brother Xiao, I'm sorry. I'm late. Junior sister, he is master's guest. Junior brother Xiao, follow me to see master. And the senior sister thinks, That's surprising, a direct disciple came to personally to pick him up. Who is this guy? Then that girl is taking Xiao Yifeng to Han Yan, and Xiao Yifeng is going to meet her. He asks the girl, Senior sister? Do you know what your temple master wants with me? So the girl tells her name and says, Just call me Chu Mo. I don't know what's going on. Master just said you'd come here and asked me to pick you up. Please come in, I'm not going in. Then Xiao Yifeng enters Han Yan's room to meet her and he asks Han Yan, Han Yan? You wanted to see me? So Han Yan says, You're going down the mountain to cultivate? And Xiao Yifeng says, Hi, how did you know that? And then Xiao Yifeng remembers something and he looks at the puppet and says, Is it this thing? What exactly is it? And Han Yan tells Xiao Yifeng, Your cultivation level is too low, so when you're in danger, I won't be able to. Just keep it, it'll help you. And Xiao Yifeng again looks at Puppet carefully. He looks at it and says, Oh. I see. So this is a protective amulet. But the puppet gets angry at Xiao Yifeng and says, How dare you? Xiao Yifeng. And Xiao Yifeng says, What is this thing that is scolding me again and again? So Han Yan tells Xiao Yifeng, I'm not very good at making puppets. So I put a part of my soul into it. So it might be influenced by me. And Xiao Yifeng says, Hee, so that's how it is. Thank you, my lady. And Han Yan says, Who's your lady? I told you. I'm not the same as the person in your memory. It's just that I'm really curious as to why the other me has taken a liking to you. I hear you're quite popular these days, so if you don't like this thing spying on you, you can throw it away. And Xiao Yifeng says, What are you talking about? This thing was given to me by my wife. How could I possibly throw it away? And Han Yan says, Anyway, if there's nothing else, you can go down the mountain. I have nothing else here. Then Xiao Yifeng hugs Han Yan from behind and says to her, Don't worry. I won't let you down. But Han Yan gets angry. Then she releases her power and says in an angry voice, Chu Mo, see the guest off. And that girl is standing outside the door, and she is also a little surprised at what is happening. But she says, Yes. Junior brother Xiao, please follow me. And as soon as that girl enters the room, she is surprised to see the scene in front because Han Yan has completely frozen Xiao Yifeng. And Xiao Yifeng says to that girl, This Senior Sister Chu Mo, please find a place to melt me. Next day, when Xiao Yifeng was about to leave, his friends came to give him some gifts. And Xiang Tiang gives Xiao Yifeng a book and says, "Junior brother, this is my secret self-defense technique book. If you encounter someone who has evil intentions against you, you can use it against them." And second senior brother says, "Junior brother, these are some life-saving talismans that I made overnight. If you encounter someone you can't defeat, use them and escape immediately." And Zhu Yushan says, "Junior brother, this is the 5 elements flag. It offers a certain degree of protection against various spells, and most importantly, if you really can't win a fight, you can use it to surrender. As the saying goes, as long as the green hills remain, there will never be a shortage of firewood." And Xiao Yifeng says to all 3 of them, "Senior brothers and sisters, I'm just going down the mountain to cultivate, not to challenge the demon sect alone." And Xiang Tiang, he says, "We're worried about you. In any case, if you encounter danger, remember not to fight head-on. Retreating is always the best option." And Xiao Yifeng says, "I'll definitely remember what my senior brothers and sisters taught me. Farewell." Then Xiao Yifeng starts leaving from here flying with his sword. And all 3 of them are watching Xiao Yifeng leaving, and Xiangtiang says, "I suppose junior brother Xiao is so eager to go down the mountain to cultivate and advance because of the upcoming true martial arts ranking, he's really ambitious." And Zhu Yushan says, "Speaking of which, why isn't junior sister here? Isn't she the closest to junior brother Xiao?" And second senior brother says, "Sigh. That girl, she's got lots of guts." And Xiao Yifeng while leaving thinks, "Next, I'll start with a trip to the nearest sky sect city." But then he hears someone shouting in the middle of the forest who is asking for help. Then we see that it is Su Miaoqing who is crying, and someone has tied her to a tree, and she is screaming for help. And then we see that 3 people come to Su Miaoqing, and their leader laughs and says to Su Miaoqing, "Hee hee. Go ahead and scream. Even if you scream until your throat is raw, no one's coming to save you." And then Su Miaoqing notices that someone is flying in the sky. She gets very angry and starts releasing her spiritual power, and she says, "Hey, aren't you guys afraid of shouting carelessly like that?" And hearing Su Miaoqing's words, all 3 get scared and they say, "Heroine. Auntie. We're really not worried." Yeah. I'm roaring at the top of my lungs." And then someone from the top of the tree says to them, "Did you guys? What are you doing?" And the leader also notices Xiao Yifeng. Then Xiao Yifeng comes down, and seeing him all 3 of them get very scared, and their leader is very scared, and he says, "He turned out to be an immortal cultivator. I can't stand this kind of domineering aura." And their leader injures himself by hitting himself. And all 3 of them start leaving from here with their boss. And Xiao Yifeng is also looking at them. Then he asks Su Miaoqing, "Senior sister, can you explain that?" So Su Miaoqing says, I was just passing through this place, and was accidentally kidnapped by those bandits." But all this was Su Miaoqing's plan. She had hired those 3 to do this to her. And Xiao Yifeng is staring at Su Miaoqing. Then Su Miaoqing says, "Alright, I just wanted to hang out with you." And Xiao Yifeng says, "Master and Mistress just let you out like that?" And Su Miaoqing says, they agreed. They were totally not opposed to it. So Xiao Yifeng says, "I see, then come with me to the Sky Sect City." And Su Miaoqing becomes happy and starts following Xiao Yifeng. And Xiao Yifeng thinks, after staying in the Sky Sect City for a few days, Master and Mistress will probably take their little girl back. Then both of them leave for Sky City. And those 3 are also watching them. Then the leader's other partner says, "Boss, you're so brilliant. We escaped from the hands of those cultivators. Boss, you're so awesome. We really survived." And the leader says, "Well, when has your boss ever screwed you over? As the saying goes, those who escape great disasters will have good fortune. We'll definitely find a real fat sheep to rob soon." But then someone stops them and says, "Excuse me, have any of you ever met someone?" And they are surprised to see the Mistress because they probably don't know who the Mistress is. Then they say, "Young lady, are you out here all by yourself?" After this the scene shifts to Sky City. Sky City is shining very brightly at night, and everyone is enjoying it a lot. Then we see that now Su Miaoqing and Xiao Yifeng have reached Sky City, and Su Miaoqing is very happy seeing the surroundings. And Xiao Yifeng says to Su Miaoqing, "Haven't you been here before?" Then Su Miaoqing says, "No, this is much more interesting than the sects market." Then Su Miaoqing goes to a shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper says to Su Miaoqing, "Miss, would you like a scented sachet? They're all handmade." So Su Miaoqing takes one. And she is very happy and says, "How much is this?" "I only have top quality." And Xiao Yifeng gives the money to the shopkeeper. Then he says to Su Miaoqing, "Senior sister, in the mortal world, they don't use spirit stones. It's too expensive for them, so just use ordinary money." And Su Miaoqing is a little surprised to hear the word ordinary money. Then her attention goes somewhere else, and she sees that some people are gathered at one place. And there a man is breaking a stone with a hammer by placing it on the stomach of another man. And both of them say, "Thank you for your support. Anyone who wants to give it a try, 10 taels of silver for one strike. We, Biao brothers, can definitely handle it." And then someone from the crowd raises his hand. And this is Su Miaoqing, and she comes forward. Then that man says to Su Miaoqing, "Little girl, can you hold the hammer?" So Su Miaoqing says, "I don't want to strike you. I want to be the one to lie here and let someone else strike me." And everyone gets shocked after listening to Su Miaoqing's words. Then Su Miaoqing says to those people, "Don't worry, I'm strong." But then Xiao Yifeng comes in between them and says to them, I'm sorry. My sister isn't in good spirits." And Xiao Yifeng starts taking Su Miaoqing with him, but Su Miaoqing says to Xiao Yifeng, "What's the matter? I can really handle it." But Xiao Yifeng does not listen to anything Su Miaoqing says and takes her to a bridge and says to her, "Senior sister, you're an immortal cultivator, you'll scare the mortals if you were to participate in their activities." And Su Miaoqing says, "Hee. I'm so excited. I've never seen such a lively place." And then firecrackers start appearing in the sky, which looks really beautiful, and seeing them Su Miaoqing says, "It's so pretty. Junior brother, I'm actually very envious of you. As long as I can remember, I grew up in the sect where my parents never let me go to the mortal world, and I could only listen to my senior brothers and sisters tell me stories about the outside world, but I really wanted to go out and see for myself. I sneaked out secretly." And Xiao Yifeng says, "Yes, I know." Then Su Miaoqing says, "Sure enough, I can't fool you at all. I just wanted to get out of home and have a look. I'm glad you took me to show me around. Junior brother, when you go out, you must pay attention to safety. I won't be able to protect you outside." And then someone comes there and she says, "You're not even that powerful, so how can you talk about protecting others?" And as soon as Su Miaoqing hears this voice, she understands that this voice is of her mother. And Xiao Yifeng also gets surprised to see the mistress, and the mistress says, "Miaoqing is all grown up, so now, she's running away from home?" And the mistress quickly makes a barrier, and seeing this barrier Su Miaoqing gets scared and she says, "Soundproof barrier. Mother, what are you going to do?" And the mistress says, "It's so we wouldn't disturb others and be rude if you cry too loudly." And on the other side other people are bursting crackers and enjoying themselves a lot. But inside the barrier, explosions are happening one after the other, seeing which Xiao Yifeng is shocked, and he says, "I'll be damned. This is undoubtedly her blood child." And Su Miaoqing gets a strong hit on the head, due to which she is feeling a lot of pain. And Xiao Yifeng thinks, this is really beating to death. Then Xiao Yifeng says that, "Mistress? Why don't you take a break? Your arms must be tired from swinging that hammer, right?" And the mistress says, "That makes sense." Then Su Miaoqing raises her hand. And the mistress says, "Do you recognize your mistake?" And Su Miaoqing says yes, and the mistress says, "Do you know the consequences?" Then Su Miaoqing says, I know. As punishment, I'll have to face the wall and reflect on what I've done for a year." And the mistress says, "Well, it's a lot more serious than that." And Su Miaoqing says, Then. How many years will it be this time?" And the mistress says, "Listen carefully, your punishment this time is to follow Xiao Yifeng down the mountain to cultivate. If he doesn't come back, you're not allowed to come back either." And hearing this punishment, Su Miaoqing gets shocked. And the mistress asks, "Any complaints?" So Su Miaoqing says, "I understood." Then the mistress says to Xiao Yifeng, "Xiao Feng, Would you be willing to take care of Miaoqing for a while? And Xiao Yifeng says, don't worry, mistress, I'll take good care of senior sister. And the mistress says, well, now that I have your word, I'm relieved. Then the mistress leaves very quickly and Su Miaoqing says goodbye to her mother. Then Su Miaoqing becomes very happy and she hugs Xiao Yifeng and says, wow, that's great. Junior brother, I can go out and hang out with you now. But then a barrier is formed in front of Xiao Yifeng due to which Su Miaoqing moves away from Xiao Yifeng, and Su Miaoqing is surprised at what just happened. And we see that it is the puppet who did this and the puppet gets very angry at Su Miaoqing and Xiao Yifeng also gets scared seeing the puppet so angry and he says to the puppet, and that. Don't get me wrong, this is my senior sister, you know. Don't get mad, there's nothing between us. And the puppet accepts Xiao Yifeng's words and goes back inside Xiao Yifeng. And Su Miaoqing asks Xiao Yifeng what was that thing? But Xiao Yifeng tells her, haha. It's just a magic weapon. Let's go, let's find an inn first, it's time to find a place to rest. Then they go to rest. But the mistress is still keeping an eye on both of them and second senior brother says to the mistress, Mistress, how will you explain your decision to the master? Then the mistress says, it's all right, I'll talk to Qianni. We've been too strict with Miaoqing. It's good for her to see the world. In order to protect her, we've been keeping her away from the outside world, which has caused her resentment. This is her opportunity. However, their cultivation levels are indeed not very good. You know what I mean? And second senior brother says, don't worry, mistress, I'll protect them secretly. And mistress says, make sure not to be discovered by them. So second senior brother says, don't worry, I've got the right skills. Then the mistress leaves and second senior brother stays here to keep an eye on both of them. But Xiao Yifeng notices both of them, and he is smiling. And Su Miaoqing asks Xiao Yifeng, junior brother? What are you looking at? So Xiao Yifeng says, it's nothing, just a couple of birds. Let's go. Next day Xiao Yifeng comes outside Su Miaoqing's room to wake her up and he says to Su Miaoqing, senior sister, it's time to go. And Su Miaoqing is still half asleep and she says, let me get more sleep. I finally came out without needing to cultivate. But then Su Miaoqing's mother says, Su Miaoqing, I should have taken you back. And Su Miaoqing gets very shocked on hearing her mother's voice. And she quickly comes out and she says, Mother, I was cultivating last and I dash. Then she starts looking here and there to find out where her mother is, but Xiao Yifeng tells him, this sound-transforming talisman given to me by the second senior brother is said to work wonders sometimes. It actually works well. And Su Miaoqing says, junior brother, you almost scared me to death. So Xiao Yifeng says, this is the best way to wake you up. It's time to go. And Su Miaoqing asks Xiao Yifeng, but where are we going next? So Xiao Yifeng says, as the innkeeper told us, we're going southwest. I heard that a demon appeared in the southwest. And customers have come from there in the past few years. And Su Miaoqing says, great. Let's kill the demon. Go, go, go. And Xiao Yifeng thinks, it seems there's no need to make up an overly complicated reason. Then they leave and while leaving Xiao Yifeng remembers and says, if we follow the southwest direction from Sky City out to sea, we should find an island. In my previous life, that's where I met my newborn spirit pet. Unfortunately, I went there too late in my previous life, causing that guy to have insufficient energy. This time, I'm going there more than a decade earlier. Perhaps I can make that guy a little stronger. And then someone attacks both of them, seeing which both of them are shocked. And with great difficulty they are able to dodge that attack. And Xiao Yifeng sees that a magic formation has been set up around them and Xiao Yifeng says, a magic formation that conceals aura and blocks communications. The other party came prepared. And then someone comes in front of them and says, Xiao Yifeng, I don't believe anyone can save you this time. And Xiao Yifeng says, Brother Li, how come it's you again? Even if I don't find it annoying, I'm already sick of it. And Su Miaoqing says, they're just two losers we've already beaten before, are they that crazy to try and stop us? But then an old man comes to that place and he says, if the two of them are not enough, what about me? Late stage of the Foundation establishment realm? And the elder says, hey, my lord, we didn't lie to you, there is indeed a very fine woman here. And looking at Su Miaoqing, the old man says, not bad. She's really nice, you guys did a great job this time. And the elder says, then, please help my nephew deal with them. And the old man says, humph, leave it to me. And the elder says thank you to the old man, and Li Feng also says thank you. And Xiao Yifeng becomes serious after seeing the old man. And Su Miaoqing says to Xiao Yifeng, Junior brother, have you heard of that guy's name? And Xiao Yifeng says, I heard it once before. He was said to be an evil cultivator who cultivated with the yin energy of women. But his methods are extremely brutal. He'll completely drain the woman he practices dual cultivation with. Then the old man says, it seems that you've heard of me. That'll save me a lot of effort. Women are merely furnaces used for cultivation. If you surrender willingly, I can grant you a quick death. How about that? And Xiao Yifeng takes out his sword. And the old man says, immortal slaying sword? How did you end up on this ordinary flying sword? And Xiao Yifeng thinks, I thought you told me not to expose myself, but I can't stand it anymore, so I've decided to kill him. And Li Feng says, the late stage of the Foundation establishment realm is far beyond the ability of the two of you to deal with. Xiao Yifeng, you have always been against me before. This time, I want you to see your senior sister being played with. And Xiao Yifeng says, oh? Then I'd like to see how good the late stage of the Foundation establishment realm really is. Xiao Yifeng then moves forward to attack the old man. But the old man says to Xiao Yifeng, you must have a death wish. Then he uses one of his techniques and throws a net on Xiao Yifeng, in which Xiao Yifeng gets trapped, and he is unable to cut this net. And then Su Miaoqing moves forward to help Xiao Yifeng, but then Elder attacks her, due to which Su Miaoqing starts moving back, and very quickly Elder reaches close to Su Miaoqing and pushes her away with a punch, and Elder laughs and says, hee hee. I know your spells are very powerful, but as long as the two of us suppress you and don't give you a chance to cast a spell, there's nothing to be afraid of. And the old man thinks, when Master Huanqi deals with that boy, you'll have no choice but to be our plaything. And he says, you have the courage to challenge me despite your Qi refinement realm cultivation level. Your courage is really commendable. However, if you're too confident, you won't be able to go far on the path of cultivation. And Xiao Yifeng says, you said it right. You will lose because you were too overconfident. And then Xiao Yifeng cuts his net with a sword, and the old man is surprised to see this, and he says, you're only at the Qi refinement realm, how is it possible? But then Xiao Yifeng attacks the old man with a sword and cuts him into two parts. And seeing this, Li Feng gets very shocked, and he says, second uncle, it's bad, Master Huanqi is dead. And when the elder hears this, he also gets shocked, and he looks back. But then, taking advantage of this opportunity, Su Miaoqing attacks the elder. And when the elder looks ahead, Su Miaoqing's attack has reached very close, and as soon as Su Miaoqing's attack falls on the elder's whole body starts burning. And when Li Feng sees that the elder is about to die now, he prepares to run away from here, and when he tries to run away, Xiao Yifeng comes in front of him and says to him, Brother Li, where are you going? And Su Miaoqing surrounds Li Feng from behind, and she says, just now, what did you say you wanted to do to me? And Li Feng is now cornered from both sides, and he can't escape from here, and so he panics and says to both of them, what are you going to do? The sect rules state that you can't harm your fellow sect disciples. Do you dare break the rules? But then Su Miaoqing puts a sword in Li Feng's chest and kills him. And Su Miaoqing says to Li Feng, you scum. And Li Feng's dead body falls on the ground, and Xiao Yifeng says, I thought you wouldn't be able to do it. And Su Miaoqing says, what I hate most is traitors who betray their fellow sect disciples. Junior brother, how did you kill that guy? So Xiao Yifeng says, as luck would have it, he approached me without casting any protective spells, and I succeeded in sneaking up on him. And Su Miaoqing says, next time, don't be so impulsive. You won't get lucky every time. And Xiao Yifeng says, yes. Senior sister, let's get out of here. Then they both start moving forward very fast. Then we see Elder, who is lying on the ground, but then his hand starts moving, and Elder quickly gets up and says, Sky Sect. Su Miaoqing, I'll never forgive you, I'll fight you to the death. And then someone says to Elder, I see, I never thought you possessed a secret technique, that's how you were able to survive. And second senior brother comes to elder, and seeing second senior brother, elder says, "Fellow cultivator, I'm the disciple of elder Luo Xian of the Green Mountain sect." So second senior brother says, "Relax, just leave it to me. I'll have to teach my junior sister a little bit of wisdom in the future. When you kill someone, you have to destroy the body and all the traces." And second senior brother kills the elder. Then after this we see that Xiao Yifeng and Su Miaoqing are moving very fast. And Su Miaoqing asks Xiao Yifeng, "Junior brother, is the location of the demon that's causing trouble still far away?" So Xiao Yifeng says, "That demon is supposed to be on some small island. We'll have to keep looking for it. As far as I remember, that place should be around here. It's supposed to be a ragged island." And then Su Miaoqing notices something and asks Xiao Yifeng to look ahead. And when Xiao Yifeng looks ahead, there is a lot of thunder in the sky, seeing which Su Miaoqing says, "This celestial phenomenon is too strange. Could the island where the demon resides be right there?" And Xiao Yifeng says to Su Miaoqing, "Let's check it out, and be careful." And as they go ahead, they see a small island, and there is a big tree on top of that island. And thundering is happening on this island, and very dangerous lightning starts happening on that tree, seeing which both of them get surprised. But Su Miaoqing says that the tree must be some kind of treasure. That must be the reason why it's causing such a celestial phenomenon. But Xiao Yifeng stops Su Miaoqing from going ahead and asks her to stay behind. And when they look ahead, the island starts shaking and the sea water starts splashing up, and both of them are surprised to see this. And now slowly that island starts getting bigger, and then someone says to them, "Humans, leave." And Xiao Yifeng thinks, "It can transmit thoughts. This is at least a nascent soul realm demonic beast." And he says, "Senior, sorry to bother you, we'll leave right away." And both of them move very fast away from that small island. And when they look back, they see a huge sea turtle, seeing which Su Miaoqing says, "Fortunately, it seems that the senior didn't give us a hard time, otherwise we would be in real trouble." And Xiao Yifeng says, "It's not that it's being nice, it just doesn't have time for us. Look, it's about to begin." And we see that a very dangerous lightning falls on the sea turtle from the sky, seeing which Su Miaoqing is shocked. And she says, "Could this be crossing the tribulation?" And then this video ends. If you want to see its next part, please subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to press the like button. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye.